and welcome to the Trophy Room pre-show. I'm your host, Joseph. Alongside me, one of the greatest co-hosts who ever is, who ever will be, Mr. Kyle Stevenson. How are you, sir?
I'm tired.
I'm tired too, man. I'm tired too. I can't wait to tell you why we're tired. That's gonna be great. But until because I feel like I want to save it for
Yeah,
the
I
the beginning of the
I
show.
also see
You know,
Silkana and Luke and Chat go, oh, they're too big time for us now. And Silkana goes, that selfie with Sam Lake got to their heads. Get out of here. What are you talking about?
what a crazy 24 hours it's been. When you have so little sleep, you feel like it's still just been one solid day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. And like yesterday felt so surreal to see both of y'all. Um,
And now Light is 8 hours away from us.
exactly.
We traveled so
You
far
did,
for
yeah.
such a short amount of time. And it's so funny because whenever I hear, like, I don't know how accurate this is, but
Yeah.
I always get like TikToks and stuff of people in Europe being like, oh, that's an hour drive. I never go there. It's too far away. And I literally just traveled 7 hours for like a 5 hour event.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Yep.
then turned around and came back.
And we're like, worth it.
With it. Let's do it next year.
All right. I'm just trying to get everything up right now so that we can start the show.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to. I don't want to.
I don't want to give away too much before we get into it, right?
Exactly. That said, you know what? Here's a little pre-show topic. You ready for this?
Sure.
Do you have any like traveling rituals, like things you need to do before you go out and like, let's just say like you're driving to Massachusetts. You know what I mean? Like, what are the things you need to do or have? Think about that for a second. While I type this into good old fashioned
Do I
Twitter.
have?
Yeah.
We always stop at the same gas station to top off on gas before we go. So I always go into the gas station and get 2 bottles of Dr. Pepper, a bag of chocolate covered pretzels, and then a snack bag of some sort of chip. So like um Cheetos or like a Lay's something or something like that. That's probably
Nice.
the closest I have to a ritual. But
Going,
I
those are
like
my
that.
go-to car snacks.
yeah, going up to college on the 6 hour drive, I would always stop at the first rest stop on the thruway and
Mm.
always get a McDonald's McGriddle because we would leave here
Yes.
at like 3 in the morning to
Mhm.
beat all the city traffic and stuff. So that would be the absolute first stop. Um, and then sometimes on the way back, I would always make it a point to stop at the only thruway that had a Roy Rogers still. Because Roy Rogers has pretty good chicken sandwich. It's the only place to get it. I don't know if you can anymore, but those are like the only like travel things that I would do.
I love that you're going to the Roy Rogers for a pretty good.
It's pretty
It's
good.
not. It's not like great. It's like
It's
pretty
pretty
good.
good.
But if there's only really one place left you can get it, you gotta get it.
It's 100%.
It's like Pizza Hut. I have no Pizza Hut around here anymore. So if there's a Pizza Hut, I'm pizzaing the hut.
Usually
Oh.
when I go to the city, I bring back Krispy Kreme because that is the only place I can get Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, we don't have that anymore either.
We actually have a few here in Jersey, but that used to be a saying. Like when we're in the South, we're like, "Where's a Hardee's? We want to try that." Or like for a long while, it was like, "Where's Chick-fil-A?" Because we hear nothing but great things.
Mm-hmm.
And like, yeah, I'm
That
posting this on my name. I don't care. There you go.
that was Sonic for me. Like
My
the restaurant.
God.
I would only ever get Sonic in Florida.
Mhm.
Now we have one that's like 30 minutes from us, and I've literally never been because that's vacation food. I can't have
Yep.
that right now.
That's fair.
That's my Florida food.
That's shattering the grand
If
illusion.
it's
If you
snowing
have
outside, I can't have Sonic.
that.
Yeah, my closest Sonic is 45 minutes away, so usually when I go to the movies, that is my after movie like dinner kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that cherry limeade is so good. That's my go-to soda. I wish they would bottle that and sell it everywhere.
Surprised they don't.
They have the little like mix thing.
Oh, it's not the same,
It's
probably.
not the same.
No.
Man.
See, Alex is with me. A solid 7 out of 10 chicken sandwich is worth the trip.
Ooh.
It's worth it.
Yeah. So for me, I think the ritual that I have is if we're going early in the morning, we do have to get some type of McDonald's breakfast.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like breakfast is planned out. Um, if this was my father's rules, we are only stopping at a hotel that has continental breakfast.
Yes, that was always my family's rule too.
Yeah.
Yes. There's two of us.
We would always drive to Florida, so it's like a 24-hour drive, but we'd obviously stop. But we'd always stop in like the North Carolina, South Carolina border, because that was always kind of like a good breaking point.
Mhm.
So we'd get McDonald's for breakfast at the first rest stop, and then we would go and we would stop, but it always had to be a hotel that had free continental breakfast, so that for the next morning we didn't have to eat McDonald's again. We could have our continental breakfast.
Oh, was that your dad's idea?
And that was my stepdad, yeah.
Oh my god.
And-
Yo, we need to get them, my dad and your stepdad, in a room, because that's your explanation was the literal same exact down to the state. It's like,
No,
yeah,
my
we'll stop
dad
it
would
around.
pull. My dad, we wouldn't stop. We would drive straight through. And
Yeah.
now he's a truck driver, so like we should have seen that coming. We should have seen that coming.
Also,
Real-
now that
yeah.
we're adults, we understand continental breakfast is great because it's free. But man, is
Mhm.
it shitty. That
Always.
food
Oh,
sucks.
Fucking
Always.
awful.
So
It's-
bad.
Always. How
Those
does your
aren't
bagel
eggs.
taste like cardboard?
Right.
What
Why are your eggs still powdered?
the hotel
what
that
is
we were
happening?
at in Atlanta for DreamHack in October had like sausage out there. I grabbed a couple links. It was vegan sausage, and then in the label, I almost threw up everywhere. It was the worst.
Yeah, if
it
you're
was
not
like
used-
sandy.
If you're not used to vegetarian meat,
It was bad.
it's
It was either
yeah,
that
it's unique.
or some like spinach pre-microwaved in a bag quiche that they had under one of the cloches things. So like, nope, I'm good. I'm good. I'm okay.
Mm-mm.
Never.
I gotta
in my
say,
life.
Morningstar fake and bacon, real good.
Okay.
Tastes nothing like bacon, but it's real good.
Okay.
So if you don't
Get that.
expect bacon, it tastes like a really salty potato chip, and that
Okay.
shit's good.
Okay, I don't know if I think I've shared this with you guys. I don't know if I have. Bacon's overrated. You know, no, have I shared this with you guys?
Excuse me?
Kyle, we have a two-person show.
We do.
Fair enough.
Bacon's
Understand.
overrated.
Yeah, I'd rather turkey bacon over it.
I mean, turkey bacon's great.
Okay, Kyle, going off of that,
Yeah.
how do you like your bacon cooked?
I am not a crispy bacon person.
Okay, this is a one-person show.
I like mine a little soft because my teeth
Oh.
are little babies.
What?
I don't like
No.
the crunchy.
Crisp that sucker. I want it crunching. If it's floppy, what?
We're like the see no evil here, see
Yeah.
no evil, whatever the third one is. But our
Between the
opinions on
three of
bacon.
us, all bacon will be gone.
Exactly.
That's all we need to know.
Yeah.
If it like for me, like there has to be a crunch. It can't be too crispy because it turns to dust. But I agree. I agree. I think if there's one piece of bacon that has a little flop, that's okay.
Oh, I'm not.
Like, if it's
I'm
the
not
fat
saying
side.
barely cooked, soft flop.
But
It's gotta be a little floppy.
If it's got it's got to be a 80-20 flop ratio where 20%'s flop.
I don't know how Mike
80%
feels about us saying
crisp.
flop so many times.
You're right.
That's okay. Reese called it flaccid, so I mean,
And Mr. Light in the chat is saying an opinion only an Elden Ring stan would have. Bacon's
Oh.
overrated. Look at you.
All right, let's get into it because I can't wait for him to find out where Elden Ring's DLC is.
Oh no.
you guys
Hi,
have your
everybody.
floppy flaccid bacon. Give me all the crispy one.
Oh God! All right. You really just wanna clip out of context. It's fair.
I love
right.
my bacon how like men who live in cold temperatures probably act. Like it's cold outside, so like, you know, it's a little floppy.
Yeah.
It's the temperature
Oh.
outside. It's fine.
Phew.
Sorry, sorry, this is so off topic, but I have to share. I was literally dying. You know, you know the tractor trailer trucks that have the sleeper cabs, so it's like the really
Yes.
big
Yes.
cabs, and normally they're towing like the really big trucks.
Yeah.
It was a sleeper cab, but it had one of the little mini trucks, and it was like, this is what happens to a truck when it's cold outside.
Oh, that's good.
That's adorable. I appreciate that. Oh, and the truck nuts are a little smaller too. You know, you gotta.
Whew.
Anyways,
They're in
time for
the
bed.
exhaust. All right, fair enough. You ready for this?
All right, chat. We'll see you in 16 seconds.
Oh, wait, no longer greatness has arrived. Welcome to episode 412 of The Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. I'm your host, Joseph, aka Mr. Badbit, and it is here where me and my two best friends talk about the latest, the greatest in all things PlayStation. This week's all about the Platties. Join us as we celebrate the year of gaming that has been 2024, as told by the trio of the Trophy Room. That's right, no news this week. We'll get to all that stuff next week. Today, this episode, it's all about celebrating our top 10 PlayStation games of 2024, and we're going to sprinkle in over 30 categories, over 80 plus nominees, and only, one game of the year. So that said, guys, gals, before we get into the show, I do want to just first and foremost actually thank our patrons this week. Because of y'all, we got to do something really special literally last night. We got to attend the New York Game Awards. We got to meet in the flesh. We got to meet so many of these creators that we just absolutely admire and adore. And we're going to be honest with y'all. We're still feeling it.
I
So
got home at like 3:34 in the morning.
Yeah, Kyle, I'll start with you first.
Yeah.
You got it. When did you land in New York City? When did you exit? Yeah.
I like how you say land when I took a train.
When did you train in? When did you train out?
I left the house at like 1:45 in the afternoon. I got back I texted you all at 3:30 in the morning.
Oh.
Yeah.
Was that instant slumber?
You would think, but I came home to a mess. Also, I had my dad's truck because my parents are at a casino having a little vacation.
Okay.
And I haven't used his house key, so when I got home, apparently his key is a little tricky with the door. It took me 20 minutes to get inside.
Oh no!
Because it wasn't working, and I'm just sitting out there. And if I can download the Ring video of me just sitting there like, what? Ah! I just kept screaming. And luckily, I don't really have any neighbors, so I was very loud. None of the girls heard me and came to help or anything. I was just out there in the freezing cold. I think it was like 8 degrees outside. When I got back. Was not happy. Was not happy.
Well, I wouldn't open the door either. Have you ever found out who killed your neighbor or whatever?
Oh.
What are you talking about?
There was a murder.
There was a murder down the street.
I just love how that just gets thrown into the conversation.
I'm sorry, what? I completely forgot about it. I don't think they found out what happened.
How long ago?
It was last year.
Yeah.
I don't know, 8 months ago or something like that.
What?
I don't know.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm
sleeping okay. It's all right.
I'm fine.
I'd be on Zillow the next day. Light, I got a question for you. When did you and your husband make it in? Mm-hmm. And then when did you guys finally get home?
So we left our house yesterday morning at 8. 8:30 a.m. to drop the child off at school and then left from there. So we were probably on the road no later than 9:15. We drove a couple hours to a train station and then took a train station a couple hours into the city so we didn't have to drive into the city. So I think we got into the city at probably 2:30, 3 o'clock. But then I made a little oopsie and I put the wrong hotel in my GPS. So we walked 20 minutes the wrong direction to the wrong hotel. Got there and he was like, I don't have a confirmation for you. And I was like, but it's right here. I have the confirmation. He's like, that's not the right hotel. So then we had to walk 40 minutes because the correct hotel was 20 minutes the opposite direction of the train station. So we had to walk 40 minutes. So poor Joe's waiting for us outside for a long time because I went to the wrong place. And then today we left, our train from New York City left at 8:30. And then we got home at like 2:45.
Oh, hot damn.
But then I had to go, pick up the child and pick up my dog. And so I didn't actually like get home probably until 5:30.
God, it's rough. That said, though, how did you guys like the New York Game Awards and all the schmoozing that we did?
The greasing of the palms.
Yeah. Because Kyle's a natural. Kyle's gonna be very like, demure about it.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, I'm a nobody. What this, that, and the other thing. He's getting stopped, guys, constantly. He's shaking hands. There was a baby. They're like, please kiss this child. He's like, all right.
I autographed somebody's forehead. It was great.
That's right. It was nuts. So tell me about your experience, the long and short of it there, Kyle.
Oh, I thought it was great. It was our first time there. My first time at there. I thought it was wonderful. It was obviously awarding games that we love. It's great to see. I love hearing the devs who won the awards. But I just love their mission and how they're very education based, and you donate to that cause, and they're helping New York City school kids get into gaming and like teaching them writing and how to pitch games and giving them scholarships to go to school to continue their studies is awesome. And I love how intimate it was. Like, it was a very small theater. Like, we were sitting there beforehand, and like just Troy Baker and Todd Howard walk in, and they were like 6 rows in front of us.
Mm-hmm.
It felt really, really cool to be in a room full of like extremely talented human beings.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you got to meet Sam Lake.
We all got to meet Sam Lake.
Yeah.
What if I told
you? Yeah, but you led that charge. I
led the charge. And speaking of leading that charge,
please.
Which, looking back, I'm like, I can't believe I did that to this historic human being in the video game industry. I told Reggie, excuse me, can I sneak by you? This is Reggie Fils-Aimé, like, the Nintendo guy. I was like, excuse me, can I sneak by? I gotta talk to Sam. Didn't talk to Reggie the rest of the night. I was too intimidated to talk to Reggie. But I was like, I gotta go say hi to Sam.
And he was free too. Like, when we were done talking to Sam, he was free. And I did the same thing. Like, when we were walking back, I was like, hi. And then I just kept walking. And then we sit down at the chairs and I'm like, should we have gone and taken a picture with him? And everyone was like, no.
Too scary. Too scary.
Yeah. We've already made our, when we got to meet Sam, I was like, okay, now is it time for me to, make my pitch to Reggie? I'm like, no. I feel like I'm being greedy at this point. Also, what am I going to say to Reg? Like, hey, I love your memes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's not much I can say to him. Thank you for the stuffed crust pizza. I don't know. He innovated it. That's what he made.
I didn't know.
Before Nintendo, he was at Pizza Hut.
Oh, okay.
He out-pizzaed the hut there.
Dear Reggie, please bring me Pizza Hut back.
Yeah.
Please. In my area, please.
I'm sorry.
5 minutes away.
I'm sorry there was 2 separate instances a car drove into my Pizza Hut, and that's why it's not there anymore. Just please. Bring it back.
Make a protective dome. But I want to shout out Light here for a sec, because it was her that was able to, her and her husband, actually. Husband, literally the coolest guy, the amount of Riz that vegan husband just exudes
Dan,
is
turn off the
incredible.
show. You don't need the ego.
But he's like, go talk to Todd Howard, go talk to Troy Baker, like tell them how much
Can I
they mean to
can I
you,
set the
all that.
scene a little bit?
Please,
So this is
yes,
after the award show, and we're going to the front to like get drinks and mingle. It was the after party that Joe got us into, and
right.
we were in this little huddle next to the bar. Let's say we were here on this finger. While we were there getting our drinks, we noticed immediately right behind us was
Mhm.
Todd Howard and Troy Baker in their own little circle talking with other people.
Yeah.
We were like right there next to each other, but it was so crowded, like we couldn't move. And then, Dan
And,
was like, "Go say something."
yeah, and like I wasn't prepared for Troy to be there, so I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, all right, first off,
Oh,
I'm tired.
yeah. Before the
I
show,
can't.
we were just sitting there, and then in walks Troy and Todd. We had no idea.
Yeah, and so I'm like, I don't even know. Like, I would have prepared, you know. And so like, because of Mr. Light's words of encouragement, Light goes up there, and Light, what did you say to them? Because again, this is like Skyrim's your game, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. So he's like, Todd Howard is, I'm a Bethesda girly.
Yeah,
Hate on Bethesda all you want. I am a Bethesda girly through and through. I've got my Skyrim tattoo.
that's right.
I love it. Um, and so he's probably like one of the coolest people I could have met in the industry. One of the ones I would have been the most nervous about. So I was like, should I go say hi? And I was like, no, I can't go say hi. And like you said, Dan pushed me. He's like, dude, go say hi. You're gonna regret it. So they're literally in the middle of a conversation, and I just shoulder tapped Todd Howard. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. And then I'm mumbling and I'm fumbling because they're all looking at me. Troy Baker's looking at me. Todd Howard's looking at me. Their security guards are looking at me. The manager's looking at me. And I was like, So then I just start mumbling, and your games mean so much to me. It's so nice to see you here. You are making such an impact. You have no idea how much of an impact you make. But I don't know, word vomit. I couldn't
Yeah,
even tell you. I'm shaking. Then all of a sudden I start to tear up and I'm about to cry. That's embarrassing. So I was like, I'm so sorry I'm getting emotional. I don't know why I'm getting emotional. And then Troy Baker steps into the circle like this so he can hear me more. And I was like, holy shit,
yeah.
what is
Uh,
happening? And then they're just looking at me. So then I just keep talking. I don't know what I said. Something about
yeah.
how I used to be a teacher, so this cause is really special to me. Like I had anything to do with this cause. I don't have anything to do with this cause.
That's
But
Well,
it
they
was
do.
so
They're
it
here.
means so nice. It means so much that you're here and supporting this because it's such a great cause. It means so much. What the fuck?
yeah.
I don't know.
But
I
you
don't know.
crushed it
And then I
because
was like, I'm so sorry for interrupting. Please, I don't want to keep you. And then I just walked away. Didn't ask for a picture. Didn't shake any hands. At one point, he stops me. He's like, what's your name? And I was like, oh my God. I didn't even say my name. I didn't even say my name. So then I said my name.
nailed it.
And then I get back and I'm like,
Yeah.
my hands are shaking
Yeah.
so bad.
And we have a question, a super chat from Nissa that says, "Did you guys see Lord Cognito from the Iron Lords podcast on stage?" Yes. Very proud of my friend. Again, Cog is one of the greatest human beings in this industry, and literally, I was talking to him at the post show, just talking about our podcast and all that. Todd Howard comes along. Cog acts like he's known Todd his whole life, and it's just chatting him up, and I'm just standing there like an idiot going, hi again. Hi, what up, Todd? But shout out to Todd, because he is a man of same length as I, similar stature, short kings out there representing. And Cog points over to Light and Kyle, that he goes, you got to go over there. Those are good people, or along those lines. And again, paraphrasing, night's blurry, 2 hours of sleep. But he said something along the lines of like, "Oh, I just was talking with them. She is so sweet." And I'm like, "Oh, that's very nice." Like that meant something to him. And so yeah, it was really awesome to see, and like just awesome to see, like Matthew Peretta, the voice of Alan Wake, was there, and I got to make a Robin Hood Men in Tights reference, and him going, "See, I told you, I still get call outs." So it
And,
was fantastic.
and talking with Barrett, John Eric Bentley,
Yes.
Oh
at
my
the
God.
end, who is, I think, one of my favorite people that I've ever chatted with. Like we were there, what, solid 5-10 minutes, just
At
Just chatting
least.
it up.
talking with him about everything. There was no intimidation. Like I was nervous
Mm-mm.
to say hi, obviously, because Barrett in that game means so much to me, and he made me feel like I've known him forever. And we were
Yeah.
joking around. He's so cool.
Yeah.
We might see him here on the show soon. I don't know.
I don't know. But can I just say, I guess surprised isn't the right word, but they always say, and I'm stealing this line from Dan, they always say, don't meet your heroes because they're
Yeah.
never what you expect them to be. Every single person we met that night was genuinely so
Yeah.
kind. And obviously, like, I had 5-minute conversations with all these people. So it's like, okay, I'm making a stretch to say they're like a super kind human being, but like, Troy Baker, Todd Howard, these people, they could have just given me a cursory hello and gone on their business. They were literally in the middle of a conversation, but they stopped everything that they were doing to listen to me mumble and cry. And were genuinely, like, every single person genuinely was so kind, wanted to talk to us, made us feel like they wanted to talk to us, genuinely cared about the conversation, was involved in the conversation. And you don't always get that. So it was really nice to see that these people, they loved their craft, or they love their craft. They loved being at this event, and they loved talking to us as industry professionals, but also as fans. And that really went a long way. And because of that, we will be playing Final Fantasy VII. I never really had any interest, but because of my interaction with him, I'm going to support this game because I want to support him because he was genuinely such a nice human being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that I'm a huge fan of the Bethesda games that I'm a fan of, and Troy Baker's games, because they just were so kind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it wasn't even just the voice actors or games industry, like the people making the games that we chatted with. Like
Mhm.
getting to chat briefly with Alyssa Mercante was great. She's amazing.
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 I'm blanking on her name, but I think you wrote down the name of her book. But we
Oh,
met
yes.
an author yesterday who was formerly in the games industry. Major massive fan of Horizon, and we were talking to her about that franchise a little bit, and that was
Yes.
awesome too. Like it was a
Don't
very
Hate the Player was the book.
Don't Hate the Player. Okay, let me look that up so I get that right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like it was a very cool thing to just chat with everybody.
Yeah.
Do
was
I
very
wish
nice.
I also said something to Troy? Absolutely, but I would have full blown out cried. Like, so you
Yep.
did way better than I did.
Did way better.
Well, and then it's so sorry. Hold on 1 second.
Go for it.
Coughing a lung
now
out.
she's crying. Okay.
It's so funny because it was so loud that, like, at one point I turned and I was like, I'm here with Kyle and Joe from our podcast. You might know Kyle, and I'm like trying to like introduce you guys, but it's so they have no idea what I'm saying because now I'm not facing them
We
direct.
were
Oh my
also
god,
right
it was
in
just
front of the
so
DJ, and the music is
loud.
very loud. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Alexis Ned is her name, the author of
There you
Don't
go.
Hate the Player.
She was amazing as
wonderful
well.
woman.
Yeah.
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 Mhm.
So well, maybe we'll get some people on as guests because of
I
all
think we
this
have a
cool
couple
stuff.
ins now that we need to reach
Yeah.
out to.
Yeah.
We'll see. That said, Strubles and Bits throws us a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, sir. He says, "Sorry I'm late, y'all. Work has not slowed down from the holidays. Let me tell you, do I know it?
I feel that in my
Um,
bones.
Yes, big same. That said, again, none of what we were able to do yesterday would be possible without our patrons over at patreon.com/pstroofroom. Literally, the tickets alone costed us, I believe it was either $866 or $766, one of the two. Just to get those tickets, just to be in the seats, just to get the opportunity, and also just to meet each other face to face was awesome. So literally not possible if it wasn't for the amazing patrons over at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. I want to thank our newest members, and again, this list is a week old, so I will update it next week. Again, it's been a busy day. Busy week. But Low Rate Nate at the platinum tier, Lex Griner at the bronze tier, Antonio Concepcion at the bronze tier, and Jazz and Bren at the gold tier. I want to thank our premium producers, Todd Burowitz and Toxic. I want to thank our platinum members, JC, Jedi Master Ren, Cowboy Danger D, Jonas Young, the Green Gorilla Gamer, Chaotic Monkey, Ryuko Kill 90, Steven Flesh, Strubles and Bits, Aaron, Bertos Maximus, Tommy, Chris, Hybrid 748, Matt Valdez, Silcanet, Dustamine, Mitchell Gramling, Mike Thomas, and the Enchanted Goat. I want to thank our gold members, Cypher Primus, Doth Simon the Pie Man, Jesse Garcia, JB the Purple Monkey, Hide Indoors, Katie, Kevin Mitchell, Kevin Diaz, Marcus O'Neill, The Red Arrow, Aegis Hermit, Androsaur, Astronaut Jr., The Winter Gamer, Sting, Ray X, Robbie Bobby Miller himself, Brenton Zachary, Sean McKenzie, Rick Arrington, Solo, Matthew King, Duh Overlord, Dewane Raksha, Drellish, Final Fan, XZ, Hambone, JD Dillinger, Stone Cold, E.T., Tino Six Speed, N. Johnson, Rick Davis, Steph Midler, Samuel Nestling, Maximum Carnage, Big G, and the Lord Commander Suddy. Again, thank you all so much for your patronage. It's the reason why we get to go to opportunities like this and capitalize on them, and then hopefully turn around and make some really awesome interviews out of it as well. So thank you all so much. And when you're a patron, you get literally hundreds of hours of bonus content, bonus shows, and it's just a fun time over there. So head on over to patreon.com/PS Trophy Room.
Also,
Enough about
our YouTube members, Triple Bits, Nisa Howard, and Tommy.
Thank you all so much for supporting us the ways you do. That said, enough of the New York Game Awards, okay? Enough of that. I don't care about those awards. They don't matter to me anymore, okay? We have over 30 categories here at the Platties 2024 edition. Over 30 categories, over 80 plus nominees. And as we go through every 3 nominees, we will drop one of our personal top PlayStation games of 2024. That said, no one knows who's the winner is until we announce it live right here. That's right, not even me. It's news to me. So, with that said, let's start with the first 3 categories. For the first one, best multiplayer game. Where are we dropping, boys? The nominees are Helldivers 2, Warhammer 40k Space Marine, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, and Valorant. Ooh-wee, ooh-wee.
Can I also just ask, where's your
Please.
tie, Joe? You yelled at me last week for not wearing a tie, and I'm wearing a tie.
All right, I'll go.
Just
While
saying,
you guys
it's such
talk
a
about it,
occasion.
you're right. You're right. I'm not wearing a tie. I would say Tegan's not wearing a tie either, but I'm not gonna
It's
go
okay.
that way.
Tegan wasn't here last week to get yelled at by you,
That's fair.
so I'm doing this.
I'll go
in
get a
spite
tie.
of you. It's not
I can
Tegan's
tie
fault.
my hair around like a tie.
No, don't do that.
Oh, just wait.
Oh my God, she's doing it.
This is
L'Oreal.
the
You're gonna-
decision.
You're gonna look like one of those Russian nesting dolls, like with the
She already
babushka.
does, yeah.
Uh,
Our little babushka Tegan. Who do you think's winning in this multiplayer category?
I feel like it's got to be Helldivers. You know,
Uh-huh.
I don't know about you, Light, but I feel like that game took over the internet out of these 4. As much as I've heard Black Ops 6 being like a return to what people who are fans of Call of Duty love,
Mm-hmm.
and I know that's on your short list to get to very soon. So,
Mm-hmm.
God, yeah.
I played a little bit of Warhammer, but single player stuff, not multiplayer. So I have no idea how that worked. But I don't know.
Yeah, if I had to guess, I would also say Helldivers because I feel like that's the one that I heard everybody talking about. It was like a cultural phenomenon.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And obviously people really enjoyed Black Ops and they're having a lot of fun with it, but I don't think, like you said, it didn't take the world by storm like Helldivers did. So I think I would say Helldivers.
Yeah, I think
Fair
the new movement in Black Ops is super impressive, right? What is the system, Joe? You know better than I.
Oh my God. It's not Levolution.
No, that's a Battlefield thing.
No, I know it's one of those dumb marketing words.
Yes.
But yes, it's the traversal element
Yep.
where you're able to slide and do all that type of stuff. Yeah. Or slide in any direction, sprint in any direction. Yeah.
Omni
So one of
movement.
the
Thank you, Silcana.
Omni movement. Thank you. That said, this is where this award show in Siri is trying to take over.
I was like, who is that?
She's become sentient. This is where it becomes weird because our voting started in December 9th, the week of Marvel Rivals coming out.
Mm,
So Marvel Rivals isn't here. It's an omission just simply because of the timing of when these awards came out. Because
Mhm.
personally, I think if it was Marvel Rivals, it'd be a different conversation.
Yeah.
And a much closer race because yeah, Helldivers 2 just took it
I
easily.
I for one am happy Rivals is not of this because that is
Yeah.
very much like the recency vote. If Rivals
Yeah,
was in here,
it's true.
everyone would have voted for Rivals and forgot about the. No shade to Rivals. Rivals is great,
Right.
but people forget Helldivers took over the internet.
Mhm.
You're right. No, you're right. And you're going to be really upset at me with this list that I made.
I
That
don't
said,
care. It's your
all right.
list.
That's true. That's true. um, best audio design
Ooh.
is the next category here. We got Silent Hill 2 Remake, Astrobot, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, and Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth.
Whew.
What are you thinking?
I think this is a slam dunk for me.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Silent Hill 2.
Okay. Okay.
I see Light nodding in agreement. I think the best part of Silent Hill 2 is how uneasy the environment made you feel, and a lot of that had to do with the audio design. Of
Fair.
hearing the little freaks slither around you, and you don't know where they are.
Ooh, I don't like it.
The little sounds in the background just keeping you on edge, and then you turn the corner and there's nothing there, but you
Mhm.
know you heard it. And like it drives you crazy playing the game, which gives you the feeling like you are in Silent Hill. That is the game that I felt so immersed in last year. I think the most out of any game. Like
Oh wow.
I was so unnerved playing that game. It's
Fair.
very good, and a lot of it is because of the audio.
Okay. Are you on the same boat, T?
I absolutely am. I loved Astrobot. I think it did a lot right with the audio design and sound design, but
Mm.
for sure for me, Silent Hill 2 as well, because that was at the beginning when I first started playing that game, I was so uneasy because there's like no music and you could just hear everything. And I was so on edge. The smallest thing was making me jump out of my skin. And then I was like, all I want is music. All I want is music. And then the music started playing and I was like, just kidding. I don't want music. The music is making it bad too. But the way they perfectly just kept you on edge, they knew exactly how much of the weird creepy noises, of the creature noises, of the environment noises to include, and then when to back it off. And so it wasn't you were never used to it because they knew the perfect amount of let's put it in, let's back it off, let's put music, let's back it off. They did that so perfectly that there were times where I literally jumped out of my chair because I ran into a chain. Or one time I turned into a fan and I screamed bloody murder because I was just so on edge
Mm-hmm.
because of the audio design.
Yeah,
So I gotta go Silent Hill.
the moment you hear the radio crackling because you know there's an enemy
Hmm.
nearby, but you don't see anything.
And then it's a bug on the ceiling.
Exactly. Like it's
Yeah,
so good.
they really did a great job.
You're muted, Joe.
There it is. So this one is an upset because truthfully, as someone who didn't play Silent Hill 2, seeing all or hearing all the trailers, I'm still scared strictly because of the sounds of this thing. But it only lost by 5% to Astrobot that wins Best Audio Design for the little Astrobot that could, which makes it its first win of the night, believe it or not. And last but not leastly here on the first round of votes.
I forgot this was the category.
Oh, category
I had
just
the
for T.
categories up. I don't know what the voting is,
Yeah.
but
Okay, good. The all right, hear me out category. The we listen and we don't judge category. These are characters that are unconventionally hot. Let's discuss. ND5, respectfully. Sun Wukong. Black Myth Wukong, also respectfully. Jimbo from Balatro, disrespectfully. The Mannequins from Silent Hill 2, we said we weren't judging. Gillinane from Dragon Age The Veilguard, all right, Daddy. And King Shark from the Suicide Squad.
I am so
Take a bite out
interested
of
to
that.
see what everyone voted for.
I know.
Real sickos out there.
I mean, we made the
Uh,
list, Joe. What are you talking about?
You're right. And the winner only won by 3%.
Oh, okay.
Who do you think's winning? T, I'm gonna go with you. This is your list.
uh, I'm gonna say the mannequins simply because I would like it to be ND5, but I don't think enough people played it.
Fair.
So I think I'm gonna go with the mannequins because there's a lot of you folks out there who really like those mannequin legs.
Listen,
So that's gonna be my
when
guess.
it's the two mannequin legs on top of each other, and that's all they are. It's a lot of leg.
But shout out to King Shark because also not enough people played it, so they won't know. But
Right.
that's a good shout. as well.
I have a feeling Sun Wukong is taking this one.
Oh, just for
I-
numbers of people who played it too.
Yeah.
It's surprising how close everything was because the mannequins of Silent Hill 2 only won by like 3%.
Sweet.
To a close
Okay.
second with ND5 at 21%.
Oh, sweet.
Really?
And then people thought Gillenane was daddy at 17%. So,
All right.
mannequins from Silent Hill 2, I'm going to take your word for it, gang. You're real sickos out there.
Listen, Joe. We're not judging here, okay?
Unless you chose the clown, in which case I will judge you.
I honestly was surprised that Jimbo came in last. So,
How many people voted for Jimbo?
I think it was
0.
about yeah.
1. It was Joe.
Yeah, it's 90 with me being 88 of those votes.
Joe made 90 alt accounts.
Yeah.
That's all.
Exactly. and like. That said, I want to get to our first top 10 game. Okay. In a
My list.
Twitter size post, I want to know why that game is on that list, why it's there. And the little twist on this is they don't have to be games that came out this year. It's just games that we played in 2024. Okay? Because I made this rule because I played The Witcher 3 and I really like it. Like, I really like it, you guys. And because of that, Witcher 3 is my top 10 game that I've played in 2024. And truthfully, kind of is my game of the year this year. Like, I truly love that game. I'm so thankful to the Witcher 4 trailer to get me into this game because it is one of the most special games I've played just ever. So, yeah, Witcher 3 for me. What about you, Kyle?
So when we do these, they're in no particular order.
None.
I will save my personal game of the year to the end, though, because I know what that is.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I'm going with Neva. Neva
Ooh.
is so special. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's heartbreaking. It makes you feel all the feels. I am not one that has played their first game, Agree, yet. I just hear so many people talking about it, but I'm a sucker for cute animals in games, and this was just a beautiful painting that you were playing with gorgeous music and a story that had 0 dialogue in it, but you're still so attached to the characters. It was amazing. So it was a great experience. So yeah, Neva is definitely in my top 10.
Absolutely. What's a UT? What's your number 10 game?
So I would just like to throw a blanket statement out there that I really only played like one actual release of 2024 in 2024. And that was Astrobot, which will be there, but I'm not going to say that now because of course, obviously that's going to be there. I'm going to start with the one that surprised me the most. Obviously I've been turned into a COD girly. I got into World War II online. I haven't played the story yet, but Call of Duty World War II online surprisingly was so much fun. I got so addicted to it and I put so many hours into it in such a very short time span that it was probably unhealthy. So I'm going to say that that's going to be on my top 10 list this year because I genuinely, when I wasn't playing it, was craving it and wanting to play it. So I think because of that, it has to make the list.
I can't wait until next year, or this year rather, and you're just toxic on the mic.
No, I always made a party with just myself or with the people that I was playing with because I was like, I don't want to hear because I'm trash. Like I genuinely am trash. So I don't want to hear people trash talk me or I will be sad and I will cry and I will leave. So
Yeah, people
I
are
don't want
gonna
to
just say
hear
the most
it.
evil shit to you. They're like, "It was the Roman salute," like that type of stuff. You don't need to hear that in your life. Yeah, fair enough. I made Kyle sigh. That's the first one of the night. I love it. All right, let's get to our next three categories here. Ready for this? This one's interesting. Very surprised how this turned out. Game design. Okay, this is just the overall design of the game, their mechanics, how you play them. Okay, the nominees are Balatro, Metaphor Refantasio, Helldivers 2, and Astrobot. So, Kyle Stevenson, who do you want to win in this slot? What's your pick, and what do you think in your gut is the game?
This is a very interesting category because they're all
Yeah,
very different from each other.
100%.
And I mean, let's be real, they're all derivative of other games in their genres,
Sure.
for sure. Um,
But that's video games, man. They're
no,
all
one
iterative.
million
Yeah.
percent. But I'm
Yeah.
the way I look at this whenever I vote for this stuff is
Yeah.
like, does it take something that is known and changes it so much that it's kind of like its own thing? And the fact that Balatro launched a whole new genre of games by taking like a quote unquote simple card game and introducing roguelike mechanics to it and gamifying poker even more than just betting on hands.
Yeah.
Excuse me, not betting. It's not gambling. European Union. Just saying, because it's rated M or is like banned over there because they thought it was gambling. It's so dumb and stupid.
So stupid.
But my pick is Balatro, and I think it will win.
Okay.
Balatro is like near perfect from a gameplay perspective in my eyes.
Yeah. What say you, T?
Listen, I'm gonna need to start going first because everyone's gonna think I'm just copying Kyle. But
Fair.
You get the next one. You get the next one.
I did not play Balatro, and I never know if I'm saying it right. But I didn't play it until I don't know what, a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago,
Yep.
when I get
Yep.
it very recently because I was like, nah, that's not for me. I'm not a poker girl. I'm not a card girl. It's not for me. That's not for me. I am so addicted. The gameplay
Yes.
loop of that, it just is like, just one more. And also, I'm trash. That's surprising because I'm trash at all these games that I've been talking about. But because of that, my runs end very quickly. So I'm like, I can do better this time. I can do better this time. I'm going to go again. I'm going to go again. And next thing you know, all day is gone. And I'm like, what happened? And why is it dark all of a sudden? So I would say that I don't know if it will win because I know it's won a lot of awards, but I don't personally know anybody who's actually played it. So I don't know
Mm,
if it's one of those games that everyone's talking about, but not necessarily everybody is playing. So I don't
yeah.
know if it's going to win this category or not. But for me, that would have been my vote simply because it was just such an addicting gameplay loop. And like Kyle said, such a fresh twist on something that's already like a very well established
Yeah.
idea, you know?
It's kind of like I hate to use this analogy. It's kind of like what like soccer did to Rocket League. It's like, yeah, everybody knows what soccer is, but let's
Mhm.
put some RC cars in there. Let's play with the physics of soccer, and that's the draw to it. Like
Mhm.
Balatro's like, you know what poker is. You may not understand it, but let's make it so that you can. And again, like gamifying it and not using the betting aspects. And yeah, for me as well, it's Balatro, but I'm sensing a pattern here because Balatro didn't win. It went to Astrobot,
Mhm.
which shout out to that team,
Whoa.
though. I know. I know. I
Whoa.
feel like we're going to throw hands of our audience at the end of the night.
But I see it though. I see it
Yeah.
because if I hadn't played Balatro, I absolutely would have said Astrobot because Astrobot was like a nearly perfect game. And
Yep.
the gameplay was phenomenal. Every
Absolutely.
level was so unique. Every mechanic was so much fun. They really did an amazing job. So I see why it won.
Yep.
I just, to me, it was because I had already played Astrobot, and Astrobot 2 was a nice addition and a nice growth from that. But Balatro was so unique that that's why it kind of took it for me.
Yep.
But if this was 2 weeks ago and I had voted, I wouldn't have played Balatro. I never would have ever in a million years voted for it because why would that game win?
Yeah.
It's a silly card game.
Yeah. And I think you said it perfectly there. Like,
Yeah.
Such a good game. The next category, best accessibility. The nominees are Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, Dragon Age: The Veilguard, Call of Duty: Black Ops 6, and Star Wars Outlaws. I love adding this category in because, as you guys know, I have family that has, has had their horizons broadened because of developers putting these type of accessibility options in their games, and I love to see it. So, yeah. That said, T, what do you think's winning here? What do you think's taking it? What have you
I
heard the most of?
Unfortunately, and this is definitely an area of weakness for me, and I'm kind of surprised at myself, but I have no idea. I have not really heard anything about accessibility for any of these games, and
Yeah,
I will take full ownership of the fact that I also didn't do research into accessibility for any of these games, and I didn't pay attention, and that's definitely something I need to improve because, as someone who was an educator, I probably should be paying attention to that sort of thing. And also, there are people in my community who need these accessibility features for a variety of reasons.
yeah,
And if I want to start reviewing games and paying attention to games in that capacity, that's something that I really need to focus on. So I'm going to take ownership of the fact that I have no
okay.
idea. And
Well,
I'm going to
I'll,
excuse myself from this
yeah,
one because I don't want to just pull one randomly because I
yeah.
literally haven't heard about any accessibility for any of them. And I don't want to just be like,
I applaud your honesty, but I would also say I too haven't heard much of like when it comes to like the accessibility options of any of these games from like, like press and like even media making like a big deal of
mm-hmm,
this, where they usually would in any other year. But the
mm-hmm,
one that I heard the most of is Dragon Age: The Veilguard, of just what
mm-hmm,
you're able to do in that game when it comes to like colorblind features, when it comes to being able to see like your character in a different aspect that helps people identify player characters and enemy players. Yeah, even down to the customization strat.
yeah,
So,
I love that.
Kyle,
Nope,
what say you?
I agree. I think Veilguard is the one that I remember taking note of doing extremely good job
Yeah,
at what they're doing. More studios need to take this more seriously, so this isn't something that we can only pull so little from for like an award category kind of thing.
hmm hmm
Do more than just kind of like the bare minimum that a lot of other studios do.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I think out of these four, I think Dragon Age is the one that stood out to me the most.
yeah.
But I do remember, and it's been a minute. I think the Prince of Persia accessibility suite's pretty great too.
Oh, absolutely. There's literally God mode in it. So
Yes,
it's like, hey, listen, don't even worry about the combat. It's not even a big thing. Like it's really
I
awesome
love
that
that.
you're able to, yeah, you're able to customize it to the point of like whatever you need or whatever you
Hmm.
want, it's there.
That's
That
amazing.
said, Dragon Age: The Veilguard takes it, and this is another really tight one. This one was 31% Dragon Age, and then 28% Star Wars Outlaws, and then 24% Prince of Persia. So, congratulations, team. Last but not leastly, here on the last three categories, best debut game, games that came out on other platforms first before coming out on PlayStation. There's no red lines here, folks. Everybody gets to enjoy video games. Isn't that great? The nominees are Hi-Fi Rush, Vampire Survivors, Dave the Diver, Sea of Thieves, God bless, Pentiment, and Power World. Jesus, I played a lot more Power
Ooh.
World than I care to admit. Now reading that list. Ooh, Kyle, I go to you, friend.
hi.
What do you think? I think I know.
You think you know?
I think I know.
You think I'm gonna say Vampire Survivors, don't you?
100%.
I'm not.
Son of a bitch.
Only reason I'm not saying Vampire Survivors is by the time it came to PlayStation, I've played it in so many other places.
Oh,
Like I
fair
was playing it
enough.
on my phone already. For the brief time I had Game Pass, I played on Game Pass, um, just because it wasn't a very like computer heavy game to run,
Yeah.
so I was able to play it. Um, my vote here actually goes to Hi-Fi Rush. I was I was
Hey.
I was very very jealous when that was announced that it was an Xbox only thing. Being primarily a PlayStation gamer, so getting a chance to play it on PlayStation and digging it, never finished it just because of
Mm,
time and work and life
mm.
stuff. Um, it's incredible, and I'm super. I mean, we'll get to it next week, but super happy that Tango is back. in some way,
Oh,
shape, or
yes.
form, and they get to pursue more Hi-Fi Rush. I hope. So yeah,
Yep.
that's my vote.
Yeah. T, what do you think is making the biggest splash with PlayStation like-minded gamers?
Um, I would personally vote Pentiment or Dave the Diver because I thought both of those were phenomenal. Obviously,
Yep.
Pentiment reviewed incredibly well. I think it scored like a perfect score in a lot of outlets,
Yep.
if I remember correctly. And I was so shocked by that game. The only reason I played it is because the art style seemed cool and it got good reviews. And I was like, maybe I'll check this out. But I never in a million years would have thought it would have been something that I would have liked. And I loved it. It was such a refreshing new game, unlike anything that I had really played before. And I thought it was so well done. So I think for me it would be that, but I think probably Hi-Fi Rush is going to win because going back to the Helldivers conversation, I feel like Hi-Fi Rush really took the world by storm when it first came out.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were really wanting to play that game on other platforms. And I don't think necessarily the other games on that list had the same yearning of people wanting to play them on the other platforms
Fair.
like Hi-Fi Rush did. So I would probably vote for Pentiment, but I don't think that that's going to be the one that wins. I think it'll probably be Hi-Fi Rush.
Well, I'm gonna say I will fight some of the community member on this. Actually,
Hold on.
27% of our
What's your
community.
vote?
Well, I'll get to it because my
Oh.
my vote's Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's my boy, man. You gotta listen. That's the one that is to me one of my favorite multiplayer games of all time. And so to be able to play it on the platform of my preference is awesome. Being able to pop all those trophies, but still no platinum. All right, fair enough. A very achievable platinum, by the way. I just gotta re-put in the time to get them. With 27% though, Dave the Diver wins. And remember this,
Really?
yeah, it debuted on PlayStation
Yeah.
Extra.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what has to be the thing that really took it because it's just like so many people got to experience it.
Dave the
you know?
Diver is great though. It's a
It
great
was
game.
Oh,
great,
yeah.
yeah. I never
Yeah.
beat it, but I was
Same.
having a lot of fun with it. But it's one of those things where I kind of stopped playing it because I don't know, something came up and I just stopped playing it. But then I forgot how to play it. So when I tried to
Yes.
go
Yep.
back into it, I was like, I
Yeah.
can't dive back into this game.
Oh, I see what you did there. That said, my number 9 top game of 2024 is actually Dave the Diver because I loved it so much. So yeah, Dave the Diver, my number 9 top game.
You excited for the DLC or the expansion, whatever it is?
Oh, yes. I'll be there day one.
Sweet.
Day one. T, what is your number 9 top game, PlayStation game of 2024? What is it? What do you think
I'm
it
gonna
is?
go. I'm gonna again, not from 2024, but I'm gonna go with Baldur's Gate. And the only reason it's at 9, these are not necessarily in any particular order, but
Right.
I'm putting it that low simply because I haven't actually gotten out of Act 1 yet. I have put so many goddamn hours into this game, and I'm still in Act 1. And speaking of games, I'm gonna have to start over because I don't remember how to play. That will absolutely be one of them. But what I have played so far, I was loving. I was getting lost in that world. I've never played D&D before, but I always wanted to, and this felt like such a great entry point for me to get into that, universe, if you will. And the characters, I loved every single one of them. There were so many hear me outs. There were so many
Yeah.
just like storylines that I was invested in and involved in, fights that I was literally screaming and raging, and I just wanted to quit the game. And my community had to be like, Tegan, just buck up and do it. And I freaking was loving it. Am I
Yeah.
out of Act 1 though? No. So I'm not going to put it any higher because maybe I won't love the end. I don't know. But I was loving Act 1. 60 hours in.
Let me tell ya.
Baldur's Gate 3 is like a 3-game series all in one
Yeah.
thing. So like I
I've-
feel you. Act 1 is massive.
To be
Yeah.
fair, I'm almost done with Act 1. I just had I want to do everything. My community wanted
Same.
to see everything,
Yeah.
which I totally get. Like, that's not a slight at all. But, I had a couple little small things I needed to wrap up before continuing. But I have like the main story of Act 1 done.
Mhm.
I just am not like going on the elevator to start Act 2 or whatever it is.
Yeah. No, I legit put I think 40 hours into just Act 1 alone. Like, God, that game is so special.
Let me
It's
see how many hours I have.
yeah, it is our personal game of the year last year.
Mhm.
God, I remember just pitching it. It's like, it's just so good. You guys just need to play it.
Yeah, and I'm over here looking back on last year when we played it over our winter break, and that's when we really
Yeah.
dove into it.
Yeah.
And we're over here earlier. I was like, yeah, it's Rivals is okay because of the recency bias. Last year was not the case. I was
Yep.
singing a different tune because I knew just how phenomenal and
God, it's so
groundbreaking
good.
that game is.
Go play it.
And I've said
What are
it
we doing
before,
here?
like, you need my Paladin Alexa in your Baldur's Gate playthrough. I am there. I'm ready to dive back in.
Let's
You
do
just
it.
let
I
me
don't know how
know.
where I can see my hours on the app.
Yeah.
This app confuses me.
The PlayStation.
Oh, I
one
don't-
or
The PlayStation
whatever?
app is the
It's
worst.
not great.
Oh, and
bad.
you know, the clock is wrong anyway.
Yeah.
That said, Kyle Stevenson, what's your number 9 top game of 2024?
Again, not in any order. I'm going with
in any order.
Metaphor Refantasio.
Ooh.
I beat it the other night and completed it
Yes.
fully. It's amazing. It
Yeah.
is, if you know Atlas RPGs, it's an Atlas RPG, and they do it extremely well. What they thrive on and do extremely well are their characters. The writing is outstanding. The message of the game is outstanding. They make characters you love to hate and you love to love. It's truly great, and as a lover of the old school turn-based RPGs, I think this did an excellent job.
Yeah.
While I wish there were some things that might have changed a little tiny bit, it's still like it's one of the best RPGs in the last 10 years for sure.
Hot damn. Yeah, as someone who isn't into JRPGs, I can't wait to dive back into this game because of the story, because of its themes, and the writing, man. It's just so darn good. But there are some little annoyances that I don't like. That is, I guess, in the vein of like what Studio Zero does with the Persona
You don't like
games.
the timing thing, right?
Don't like the time thing.
Yeah.
Time stresses me out. Please stop doing that.
It's a lot to get used to for sure.
A lot to get used to. But yeah. Those are our number 9 games. Okay. Here's the next 3. Golden Retriever.
Can I just say,
Best Love. Yeah.
hardest category of the whole bunch?
Not for our audience.
Really? Oh boy. All right, go ahead.
Not for our audience. This is the best Golden Retriever. Best little fellas that follow you around and maybe even sit on your shoulders. They're your pal till the end. T, who do we need to win here?
You got him right
Oh,
behind
sorry.
you.
The nominees are yeah, so tired. Nyx, Gallica, Manfred, my boy, Red 7 or Red 8.
13.
13, goddamn it. Again, Roman numerals. 4 hours of sleep. And Asan, Dragon Age Veilguard.
Oh.
T, you thinking is this little guy? Is this little man right here, Nyx?
It's Nyx. It's
Kyle
for
Stevenson.
me, Nyx, 100%.
What do you think? Cute little boy
This is
or
so
skeleton
tough.
boy? Because let's be honest, that's what it's coming down to. It's either Manfred or Nyx.
Oh, really? I love Manfred. I love Manfred.
Okay.
He's at the bottom of the list for me in this bunch.
Fuck. All right.
I love
Okay.
Nyx. I truly do. Nyx is incredible. I would put Nyx at maybe 2 out of the 5.
Yeah.
I adore Asan from Dragon Age Veilguard.
That's a good boy.
That little griffin is my favorite little lad in all of games last year. And I would die for Asan. So that
Very
would
well.
be my pick. Gallica's weird. Gallica's like a full-fledged...
Yeah.
And same thing with Red. Like, they
That's
speak
true.
to you. They're more of a friend than a little lad.
Yeah. Again, we listen and we don't judge.
Sure.
These sickos out there. Yeah, I'm one of them. The winner by the wide majority of 54%.
It's Nyx, right?
And they're actually here to accept the award. Our little boy Nyx. Let me tell you. Honest to goodness, like the writing that Ubisoft did for Nyx is incredible. Nyx is actually one of my favorite characters in Outlaws. They're just written so well. I love them so very much. If we don't see more of Nyx in just Star Wars in general, I'm gonna start rioting because he's up there with BD for me. So
Ugh.
yeah, Nyx, what a good boy. We love you, Nyx.
Good answer, team. Good answer.
You redeemed yourselves, okay, from the Bellatrix slander. I would hear none of it. All right, gang. I think this one's simple. I think this one's real easy. I think we all know walking in.
No fighting here from me, although shout out to one of the other games, so continue.
Yeah. Best platformer. 9 Souls. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Animal Well or Astrobot.
Do you want to say it on
Astrobot.
3? Oh, okay.
Astro-
Yeah.
Astrobot.
It's Astrobot.
84% of the vote. You guys meant business. Holy cow. Awesome.
Shout out to
All
Animal
right.
Will, though.
Yep. Shout out.
Animal Will's real good.
In all of the other games' defenses, I didn't play you. I only played Astrobot, so
That's fair.
sorry.
That's fair.
That's fair. Also, Prince of Persia's pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. All right. Best adventure. This is where we are also going to say at the same exact time. Games that emphasize over the journey, set pieces that focus with vibes of the overall journey. So when people think adventure, and I took this from one of our good friends, and I'm blanking on their name. Oh my god, I need to give you credit. Don't worry, I'll look it up in a bit. When there was a conversation on Blue Sky of like, what is an adventure game to an action game? And they said Emmett Watkins Jr., thank God, friend of the show, and he said games that emphasize the journey over the action, the set piece focus of with the vibes of the overall journey. So it's about the journey more than the action of the game. That's what I totally butchered here. So the nominees are Star Wars Outlaws, Unicorn Overlord, Animal Well, and Astrobot. On the count of 3. Everybody ready?
Oh, wait, no, there's 2 that I like.
Yeah,
For this.
I don't think this is
I can't-
unanimous.
Oh, really?
Did you think this was going to be another Astrobot landslide?
Because I don't
Yeah.
think it is.
Oh no, I
Really?
don't think so.
All right. Okay. Well, T, what do you think?
I would say Outlaws for this one, personally, because
Ooh.
what I loved about Outlaws wasn't the gameplay. It was the world, and it was being
that's
a
true.
part of that world and being a part, well, that universe. The music, the cities, the exploration, that's what I loved about it. I loved that I felt like I was actually on Tatooine. I felt
I love that.
like I loved the fact that I felt like I was in the Star Wars universe. So that would be my vote. I again
Sure.
loved Astrobot.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but my vote would go to Outlaws for this one.
What about you, Kyle?
My vote's Animal Well.
Wow.
Look at us.
I
Split
think
vote.
when you talk about the journey, Animal
Yeah.
strictly drops you in and you figure
Right.
out where to go. It's all about
Okay.
the adventure and the vibes and figuring out what's going on and following puzzles. Every single room I think has a secret in it. Like you're just searching and exploring, and while Astrobot does that as well, I feel like Astrobot out of the 3, and I did not play Unicorn at all yet.
Yeah.
That one is more action focused more than just like I'm just roaming around the world chilling vibes.
Fair.
Mhm.
Fair. Well, me and the audience are in agreement here. With 65% of the vote, my goodness. Astrobot dominates with best adventure. There you go. And I agree. It's all about the vibes of Astrobot, man. And that last set piece, every level set piece is just incredible. It's about the vibes, and the vibes are just perfection, you know?
Again, I
Yeah.
see it and I understand why they voted for it, but
That said, because I didn't really think this plan through, I want to give our number 8 and number 7 picks for our top 10 games of 2024. So, what's your 2 picks here for games that everybody should be trying from this year or that you played this year? T, it looks like you're ready to go. Go for it.
ready to go. Silent Hill 2,
Hell yes.
play it. I technically have an hour left of it. It's really scary. I'll finish it, I promise. But play it. It's really good. And then my next one would be the Mafia Definitive Edition.
Ooh.
They did such a great job with that.
Yes.
Phenomenal game. I didn't play it originally, but that remake, remaster, whatever the heck they did, that game is nice. Play
Yeah.
it. It's real good.
Yeah. Kyle, what say you? your numbers at 8 and 7 picks.
Shout out to Tales of Kanzera Zhao. What
Yes.
a game.
Hmm.
Love Abby here, Abu Bakar Salim. Um, what a beautiful story. It's a beautiful game. I love the combat in that. Doesn't get as much love as I wish it did. But yeah, that's definitely up there. And let's keep the indie train rolling.
Let's go.
Crow Country is one of the most fun, nostalgic, visually games I've played in a long time. It's the PS1 style horror game that plays like a PS1 game still. It's really good. Please play it if you can. If it's in your realm of horror, or like you have nostalgia of having the older PlayStation 1 gen playing those types of games. It's only like 5 hours long. It's not that bad. So it's a great time. And it's a very good story too. They did a great job with it.
That is one I definitely need to pick up. It's funny because it was one of those, like, when we're doing the holiday break, it's like, I'll get to you. You're one of the and then Witcher 3 came out. It just blew everything, blew all my plans up. But I'm gonna say, Kyle, just like you, Tales of Kinzerazawa is incredible. The voice acting is just terrific. And I'm just gonna spoil it here right now. If he doesn't win for Best Actor, I'm gonna throw a fit because Abu Bakar Salim just freaking crushed it, man. I felt every line of dialogue. And then my number 7 pick is Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. You're right, no particular order, because Jesus, this would be in my top 5, I guess. Like, it's just so good. The combo system is borderline immaculate. The level design is so damn good. As a fan of Metroid Dread and that getting me into Metroidvanias, this is also a near perfect just experience. It's so darn good. And that team deserved a whole lot better, truthfully. It's so darn good. Um, yeah. That said, let's get back to the categories here. Best art direction. Nominees are, this is nuts, Metaphor ReFantasio, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Neva, Black Myth Wukong, Harold Halibut, and Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Kyle, you got to pick your favorite kid.
You can't do. Oh no, what happened? I clicked on the wrong part of the screen and it changed to. Anyways, we're fine.
It's just Rule 34 of Red 13. Kyle accidentally clicks on.
Dare you? No, absolutely not. Man, all visually so striking and lovely. Yeah. I feel like you're going to. I think you, Joe, think that I'm going to say Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is up there for me.
Yeah.
But how can you go against a game that was made out of clay?
That's fair.
Because it's creepy, that's how.
It is creepy, I get you. But just on a technical, artistic standpoint, Harold Halibut is like crazy. That when you look at videos, have not played it yet, but when you look at videos of that game in action and how fluid it all is, and when you realize that it's all stop motion with real props that were actually physically made, and hearing the dev when they accepted the award at the Indie Game Awards say it took 9 years to make this whole thing. Shout out to Harold Halibut. It's
fair.
Yeah.
Well, I like this category because I don't feel like you necessarily need to play any of these games.
No.
It's like, what do you think is the prettiest when you look at it with your eyes? So I say to you, T, what's one of the prettiest looking games here? Definitely not Harold Halibut to you. That's giving you nightmares.
No, I can appreciate the art form that is Harold the Halibut, but claymation scares me, so I cannot choose that in good conscience. I'm gonna say Black Myth Wukong.
Okay.
I only played like an hour and a half of that, but it was beautiful, and what I saw was beautiful, and I thought the enemy design was gorgeous, and I like the mythology woven into the art, and yeah, so I think that would be my vote.
That's fair. Hey, what's the claymation movie series that like everybody loves? It's like with the dog and like the very British guy with the green
Wallace
sweater.
and Gromit.
Yeah, I feel like Tegan's had nightmares of Wallace and or Gromit.
So it's funny because when I was a kid, I watched like my brother was obsessed with Chicken Run.
It's the same.
Okay.
They're the same studio.
Yeah. So that claymation doesn't bother me quite as badly, but
Okay.
like there are some like classic Christmas movies that really creep me out.
Hmm.
And then it's not claymation, but it's kind of like that art style claymation is Coraline. Can't watch Coraline. You know how it's like not
Fair.
actually claymation, but it's
Yeah,
kind of like mimicking that? Yeah. I don't know.
that's
I
fair.
have issues, guys. I have no idea.
You're fine. For me here, I actually think metaphor, and it's not even close to me. It's metaphor is just striking. Even when I go, the UI is art. It should be hung up. The pause menu should be on in the Louvre somewhere. Metaphor, and so that's why I would usually say I'm gonna have a talking to with the audience, but I think the audience picked correct still. The audience chose, with again another 3-pointer. It came down to the wire this year. Neva wins Best Art Direction. Congratulations.
That one did
Ooh-wee.
look pretty with the
Ooh-wee.
colors and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I liked
It is
that.
gorgeous. It is,
Mhm.
and will make you cry. First 5 minutes in, real bad.
There, there,
And I
there
go,
is.
maybe this was a mistake to pick up this game because I'm not healed yet. But at least I gave it an all.
It's
Yeah,
There's no wrong answer here.
Yeah.
yeah. All these games are beautiful, and honestly, congratulations to the team that made Neva. Y'all really made something so special. And with a game, you're right, Kyle, that doesn't have any dialogue, it has to be visually appealing to visually tell you that story, and for it to be so appealing that you can't take your eyes off the screen. Yeah, never makes sense why it won. That said, we're going on to best horror game. Spooky, scary, and sometimes they're skeletons. These games
Spooky,
scared
scary
the pooped out of
skeleton.
us. The nominees are Silent Hill 2, Crow Country, Still Wakes the Deep, Indica, Fear the Spotlight, Metro Awakening, and yeah, that's it. There you go. Sometimes Google Docs likes to say the same thing twice, but yeah. Uh, what are we picking here, gang? T, I think you and Kyle are at the same like
Yeah. So I'm gonna say Silent Hill 2, but I would like to give a shout out to Indica
yeah.
because that game was scary because I kept thinking it was gonna be a different game than it was. And it was not scary, more so like mentally disturbing. Like
Okay.
weird things would happen where you were questioning your sanity. So it wasn't scary in the normal sense. It was the
Cerebral.
scary in the am I going crazy or have I done drugs that I didn't remember doing? And the whole time you're expecting it to get scary, and then all of a sudden the game is over and there's this plot twist, and you're like, my what just happened? My brain hurts. So I would just like to give a shout out to Indica because I don't think it's gonna win this at all. I don't think it's really gonna get very many votes, if any. But shout out to that game because that was mentally just trippy.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say Silent Hill 2 because
What say you,
it's
Kyle?
scary.
I'm also with Light on Silent Hill too.
Yeah.
First time ever playing it. Didn't play the original. That story is, at least the way mine ended, so
Oh.
depressing. But I
Yikes.
loved it because it didn't like. Sometimes when you get like the best ending of a game,
Yeah.
and it's so outside of what the whole vibe of the main game was, it feels a little
Mhm.
weird. Mine just fit, and
Fair.
it just made sense. And I love the story of James and Maria and everybody. That is my vote for this one. There's another one here that we'll talk about when you ask me
Oh.
for my top 10 games, because
All
there's
right.
another one here that I really, really love.
Fair enough. With a very nice score, 69%. Silent Hill 2.
Noise.
Yeah, you guys described it so well that I'm scared to play it. I think says a lot. The next
when am I
one.
allowed to talk about my ending?
Oh,
That's what
I
I
was.
want to know.
I
Just
think.
you can talk about it, and I'll take my headphones out if I need to.
Okay.
I doubt I'll get the same ending as you. To
I'll
be
say
fair, if there's multiple endings,
I will. There's like 6 possible endings.
as
There's a lot of
soon
work to do with some of them, but
as soon as I can start streaming again, I'm finishing that game. So
Okay.
like you won't have to wait all that much
Okay.
longer because I plan on start. I just have to get ahead of my
Sure,
recording
sure,
again
sure, sure.
because I'm so behind with
Yeah, I
illness.
won't do it on the show, anybody. I won't ruin it
Yeah.
for y'all, but I just need someone to talk about my bad choices.
Best narrative focused. Okay. The nominees are Banishers of New Eden. Thank goodness you're here. Metaphor Refantasio, Indica, Silent Hill 2, and Fear the Spotlight. Ooh wee. Kyle Stevenson,
Hmm.
sir.
Oh boy, I'm between 2.
Yeah.
Canada.
While you're thinking it over, I just remembered I didn't eat dinner today because my stomach just made the largest growl. I think my mic picked it up. See, as Kyle's thinking it over, because he's in deep thought.
I am.
Yeah.
What do you think? Because this is a category, truthfully, I don't have much experience in
Mm-mm.
this year. But what do you think the conversation has been
I
around?
feel like out of all these games, I've heard the most out of Metaphor.
Yeah, same.
I feel like everyone has been singing the praises of that and the story of that. So I'm gonna go with that. But I personally haven't played any of them other than Indica. So
Yeah.
I really don't know for sure, but I feel like that's what I've heard the most about as someone who hasn't played them in terms of like conversation about
Yeah.
the writing and.
Same. I mean, I think the only one here that I've beaten is Thank Goodness You're Here. And I'll be honest, guys, it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. And I usually do like the British humor, but maybe it was too British for me and it deflected off. That's it, Kyle. Did we vamp enough to give you time to think of what is
It's
the
like
best narrative focused
choosing
experience?
between 1A and 1B in my eyes,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to take myself out of Metaphor because it was so close.
Sure.
Um,
Don't be afraid, though. Don't be afraid of it.
I'm not, but like I also really, really, really love Fear the Spotlight.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, that's going to be in my top 10 when we get to talk about it. So like,
Yeah.
either one, I'm fine. I'm not picking one. I can't.
All right.
I can't.
Fair.
I can't do it.
Honestly, very surprised. Yeah, Fear the Spotlight got 20% of the vote. So congratulations,
Oh, they
Fear
won?
the Spotlight. No, I'm sorry, but like they
Oh.
were in third. They were in third. I'm so sorry.
Jesus
I'm so sorry.
I was like, whoa, 20% won it? And you're like, no.
You should have seen me during election night. I'm like, it's Ralph Nader. It's like he's back. What? Metaphor Refantasio won with 40% of the vote.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Metaphor.
I get it.
Likewise. And then the last one here before we get to our top 10. Best action. Games that emphasize moment to moment gameplay over the journey and set pieces. We're just talking raw action, baby. This is, and I'm not kidding you, the tightest race we've ever seen. I get it. That's what she said. I get it because Stellar Blade's on here. Wrong choice of words. Less than 1% decided who won.
Wow.
The nominees are Stellar Blade, Warhammer 40K, Black Myth Wukong, Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, Call of Duty, Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2. This is insane. T, what do you think is winning here?
Oh shit. Just because I haven't said it yet, I'm gonna go with Stellar Blade. I'm gonna go
Okay.
with Stellar Blade. I don't freaking know.
That's fair. That's fair. Kyle Stevenson.
Oh, man. I think it comes down between Stellar Blade and Black Myth. I'll lean and say Wukong.
With literally 0.9% of the vote, Stellar Blade wins. Congratulations,
Celebrate.
team. Beating Helldivers 2
Oh,
by literally 9 votes. Congratulations.
that's
Wow.
fair.
Congratulations.
Where'd Wukong rank?
All right.
Was I even close?
Wukong was number 3 at 18%.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, gang. Let's get to our next 2 because I want to get to the top 5. All right.
Guys, I already forgot what I said so far.
That's fair.
I know. I'm trying to keep track of my brain.
I'm
I
like
just have
4
my
hours
list of games I played up, and I'm like, which ones did I say?
I'll let you know. I'll let you know. Kyle Stevenson, I'll go with you first.
Oh, we're
What
saying
is your
2?
number 7? Yeah. What's your number 7 and 6 pick?
So yeah, I'll just talk about it here. Fear the Spotlight is such an impressive game, and I feel like I say spoil, quote unquote. I'm not spoiling any narrative things, but the way where you play the first part of the game as one of the main characters, and then you get a whole different story from the other point of view of the other girl, and play her story.
Sorry, it's 6 and 5. Continue.
Okay, it was incredible, and the story of these two teenagers who are crushing on each other, and it's they're not too sure of how to tell the other one that they're into them, and it having like a horror background, and the way the
nice.
story was being told, it's really really good. And and for studios, I feel like it's their first game.
Yes.
This is a game that was made and it was out there, and then Blumhouse was like, "Hey, we'll give you more money to add to it," and they pulled it, and then they added more to it, and it's really really great, y'all. I would highly recommend playing that game.
Fair. What's your next pick?
My other one is another indie shocker, Crypt Custodian, cute little Metroidvania with a cat who is in the afterlife, and he is punished by the gatekeeper of the afterlife to clean up the afterlife. That's why you're a custodian, and you're cleaning up the crypts, and you come to find out that everyone is always punished except for this one person, and you have to try to figure out what's going on and helping out others in the afterlife. And it's a great game made by one.
Wait, I love that. I want to play that.
One single person, as well, Kyle Thompson, who made Islets and another game. It's really really good. It can be a little difficult combat wise. The bosses are kind of hard, but it's a great time. It's fun.
Yeah. Fair. T, what is your number 6 and 5 pick?
I think I'm gonna say Horizon Zero Dawn remaster, whatever it was. I think it was a remaster. Obviously, I am a huge Horizon fan. That is no secret. I thought they did a great job with the remaster. I didn't realize how badly it needed it until it was coming out, and I was like, the original can't be that bad. And then I turned it on, and I was like, oh no, it's that bad. You don't realize in the moment until things have progressed and gotten so much better, and then you're like, oh, okay. So that one for sure. Phenomenal game.
Just to add to that, like booting up the remake, remaster, or whatever it is like night and day. I'm like, this game is gorgeous. You can totally tell that they matched Forbidden West in the quality. I'm like, oh, it's so much better for it.
And it's one of those games where, like, I loved it, and I've always said I love it. But then you're like, is it really as good as I remember? Am I looking at it with rose-colored glasses? And then you jump into it again, you're like, oh no, like I am in hook, line, and sinker again. And I was, falling down the rabbit hole of being obsessed and wanting to play it nonstop. So that one. And then I think I'm going to say, this is going to be really random.
Okay,
Disney Dreamlight Valley.
Oh, Nissa in the chat is freaking out.
I just got into that. I had tried to play it on my Steam Deck forever ago, like when it was still in early access, and I didn't love it. I was kind of disappointed with it. And then the whole Lightweight household, well, me and my daughter both got very ill, and I could not leave bed for a whole week. And Mr. Light was like, listen, I just re-downloaded Dreamlight Valley. It's on sale right now. It's real fun. I would try it. It's the perfect sick game. So I did, and it's real fun. I'm having a great time. I'm absolutely loving it. And I still have some critiques about it, like some things that I wish were slightly different, but I think that's gonna happen no matter what,
You
and
need a
it's
cozy game.
fun. It's a great
Yeah.
cozy game.
Oh, a great game when you're sick too. That's a good call. Oh man. My number 6 and 5 pick are Star Wars Outlaws. Ooey ooey, please go play that game. It is so good. And at this point, incredibly polished. Even when I played it, I didn't experience uh, uh the hitches that many people had with it. But even then, like you're having this is one of my favorite Star Wars games next to the Jedi series. As you guys know, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. It's easy to please me, but at the same exact time, like I love the scoundrel setting of Star Wars. I love the whole like, you know, all right, do a little bit of good, do a little bit of bad vibes. I dig what they've done with Kay. Again, Nyx is phenomenal, and when that game hits, it truly becomes something really special. And I think you guys really need to play it. It's a good time. And then my number 5 pick is Dragon Age: The Veilguard. Um, g- God damn, Bioware knows how to make a really good feeling action RPG, man. Uh, that game is so much fun to play. The characters are so freaking great. Um, yeah, I, my partner Tosh and I, we're we're thinking about getting a condo together. It's nothing big, it's nothing serious. But yeah, you know, go play Dragon Age: The Veilguard, and then fall in love with either Balara or Tosh, and then just have a little moral dilemma on your hands. Ooh-wee. But seriously, it's so well written. Um, the characters are phenomenal. It is BioWare at a return to form when we needed them the most. And yeah, much love to that team and that creative director. I know they just left to go and make another RPG, so best of luck to you. That said, speaking of RPGs, we get to the best RPG category. The nominees are Dragon Age: The Veilguard, whoa, Metaphor ReFantasio, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, Dragon's Dogma 2, and Dragon Quest 3 HD, 2D HD remake. All right, gang. What do you think? Again, T, I'm coming to you. The conversation's been because to me it surrounds 2 games. To me, it surrounds either Final Fantasy VII or it surrounds Metaphor ReFantasio. What do you think is what do you think the audience mind's at here when it comes to the best RPG this year? Do you think Kyle's gonna get that dub?
I agree. I think it comes down to those two as well. I think I'm gonna go Final Fantasy. I think I'm gonna go with
Okay.
Final Fantasy. Um, is it the second Final Fantasy? So I had to text Kyle and be like, I don't know where to start with these sevens.
Same.
There's different sevens with read this and read that, and I don't know what is which.
Yeah.
So which Final Fantasy was which is this? The second part? Okay, so maybe I'm gonna reconsider that. Maybe I'm gonna go Metaphor then, because I feel like if we were talking the first part, whatever that one was, remake,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel like that would be a different conversation because I think that literally took the world by storm. I don't think I heard quite as much about Rebirth,
Mm-hmm. You got it. You
so
know
I'm
it.
gonna go Metaphor. I'm changing
Fair.
it.
Fair.
Changing it.
Kyle Stevenson.
Final
Now you.
Fantasy VII Rebirth is incredible. I understand people saying it's a little bloated. There's a lot to do. As
Yeah.
a diehard Final Fantasy VII fan, I don't care. I wanted to live in every single second of that world, go
Mm-hmm.
in every single nook and cranny, and just breathe it in because they did such a great job of taking what I remembered from the old school game and breathing new life into it and adding new things and some new characters and retelling a story with some of the same beats but a little
Mm-hmm.
different because that's kind of what they're doing with this remake trilogy. Um, to me, it's near perfect. And,
Okay.
and Metaphor is great. I think Still Can't said in chat a little earlier, there's some story choices that I didn't really gel with too much.
Okay.
And for that one, I definitely felt the length of Metaphor, which is weird that I
Mm.
felt it in that one and not Rebirth. But FF7 Rebirth is amazing.
All right. I don't have much of a horse in this race, but I think with like, first off, we got the duality of you got the hardcore fan who like, and it's someone that like, has never touched it before. This is gonna be their first one, and I just love that. For me, you also get the in the middle of like, yeah, no, I know the fans of both of these love both, but I think the wind is behind Metaphor's back more so than Final Fantasies. Maybe that's recency
No,
bias,
it's even when
but
Rebirth came out, a lot of people were like, "It's too much."
okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
That said, not to our audience because Final Fantasy VII Rebirth takes it with 39% of the
Very
vote.
happy.
There you go. Democracy wins.
It's a good video game.
All right, gang. Best PlayStation Portal game. Portal Pals Unite. These are the games that could be played on the big screen, but why not play them anywhere where Wi-Fi is available instead? The choices are Balatro, Unicorn Overlord, Vampire Survivors, and Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown.
Shout out to all the PPs out there.
Yeah, shout out all the PPs.
PP power.
PP powers, people really just count us out. You know? You go, oh, you can't bring out your PP in the cold. Yeah, I get it. The battery is not as large in the cold. The cells, you know, they get smaller. But it's about how you use your PP in the cold. Okay? That's it. Motion of the ocean.
Joe,
Remember, kids, play with your PP
motion
responsibly.
of
and not in public, as Joe was insinuating.
Oh no,
No.
you never want to. No, you never
Yeah.
want to take your PP out in public,
No, don't do
especially in the cold. Are you
that.
kidding me?
It's very expensive.
You gotta
Might break.
you gotta explain to people.
Jesus Christ.
All right, we're idiots. Light, what do you think? What do you think makes the best portable experience here?
As someone who is playing Balatro on the train for 3 hours, I'm going Balatro. Now, to be fair, this is my Steam Deck and not my PP, but
Right.
I'm going Balatro.
That's fair. That's fair. Likewise. Kyle Stevenson.
Balatro.
Balatro it is. 39.5% of the vote goes to Balatro, but shout out to Vampire Survivors. All right. Guys done did the thing.
They sure did.
All right. Gang, we're getting to the serious business here. Best independent game. Kyle made me pick like 9 of these.
Yeah.
And
I wouldn't budge.
And my goodness. Seen it now. Let's go for it. Another Crab's Treasure. Fear the Spotlight. Animal Well. Crow Country. The Plucky Squire. 9 Souls. Never. Pacific Drive and Balatro. Tegan. Kyle's gonna go on this long diatribe of, oh, indies are so great. This, that. And they are. They are. But the choice here, and they're all talented, they're all amazing.
Mhm.
There is one choice here, though.
Well, okay, there's only one choice for me because I've only played one of them, which is Balatro. So that's not
That's
really fair because based off of Kyle's explanation, fear the spotlight
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
sounds really freaking fun. So,
Yeah.
like, I like that story. That sounds like something I would read in one of my rom-com books.
Ooh. Okay.
That sounds
all
really
right.
enticing to me. So I'm gonna go Balatro because that's what I played. But also, shout out to Kyle for selling new games to me.
Yeah.
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 Kyle Stevenson,
Okay.
indie game connoisseur.
It's me.
Ooh. What are we picking here? 6-1 indie fame. This means a lot.
All right.
Your endorsement.
Just because I want to make it a point to shout out the other ones that haven't gotten love elsewhere on the show. Another's Crab Treasure is a great entry into Souls games. Looking back,
Give 'em a gun.
we probably could have put this in accessibility, and I probably would have voted for it for accessibility.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, you give Krill a gun, and you can play the whole game with a gun, and everything is one shot, and nothing is changed. You can just experience the story. It's fantastic. There's also a lot of other things, like if the internet community who's talking about like I wish Souls had a difficulty settings. In
Mhm.
another Krebs treasure, you can like very fine tune enemy health
Mm.
and damage and not losing any of your stuff when you die. Like there's so many things that you could do and the options there to make it great. It's awesome. Already spoke about Fear the Spotlight. Animal Well is fantastic. I haven't played enough of it. Crow Country is in my top 10. Plunky Squire, you love it or hate it. It is beautiful. I dig a lot of it, but not all of it, unfortunately.
Okay.
Nine Souls, I haven't played a whole lot about. People love it.
Oh, it's hard as shit.
Yeah, it definitely is. Neva
I try to play that on my PP. Ooh-wee.
Neva is incredible. Pacific Drive is one that I have not picked up yet, but it's great. But the answer is Balatro, and suck it, haters. This game is incredible. I don't care if it's a card game.
Listen, I keep singing its praises, and I'm afraid of the clown. Okay, that tells you how good it is.
It is so much more than a card game. So when I see people online like, "Oh, how can a simple poker card game win all these awards?"
Yeah,
just play it for like 30 minutes. You have 30
because
minutes.
Next thing you know, it will be 30 hours.
1000%. When you're like rushing the high score chase, I link it to like the feeling of like Pac-Man, like old school high score games where you're just trying to get the highest score possible, and you're fine tuning your strategy every single run to be different. It's all the unlocks change the game. The different decks change the game. Balatro is incredible. Local Funk, you did the damn thing. It's incredible.
Dude, I'm so nervous for Game of the Year. I'm so nervous that the audience chose incorrectly is all I'm saying. Because Balatro, man, is legitimately near perfect. It's incredible. It truly is. Yeah. Go play Balatro. It's $15. You play it on your phone. You can play it on your Steam Deck. You play it on your PP. You can play it on the PS5. Go for it. Portal Pals.
Still, can it just reach a 2 billion hand lately? I can't even beat a run.
What?
I can't even. I was so mad. I made it the closest. I was on the final ante from 7 to 8, and it was the one where you can only play each hand one time. And I was fucking crushing it every time. And this last one, I needed 1,000 more points, and I could not get the cards. All I needed was a full house. I was like, this is easy. I got this. I was discarding. Did not fucking get. I was 1,000 points away. I was like,
I've been
one
there
time I was
so
5
many
points.
times.
I was 5 points away, and the similar thing. It's like choose a hand that different every time. I'm like, come on, man.
That's when you got to diversify your jokers, so it doesn't matter what kind of hand you play. They just kind of.
Well, my joker set was so perfect. I had the one that was if you only have spades left in your hand, you get a bonus. But then I also had the one where clubs and spades and diamonds and hearts are the same. And then I had one where diamonds get you extra points. But then I also had the one where all cards count. So I was literally doing flush, winning with like 70,000 points every single time. And then this last time.
Heartbreaker, man. I've been there.
I feel like Local Fungus on the other side watching everyone's runs. You're like, all right, I'm going to screw Kyle now. Like,
Seriously.
I'm going to do the one thing that he has it planned for.
So
good.
All right, these next two, I don't think we have.
Did they win? Did Balatro win, by the way?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Balatro won. Best independent game. Yeah. With a whopping 45% of the vote, by the way.
Nice.
These next two, I don't think we have much to say on them, so I'm gonna read the nominees and the winners here.
Sure.
Best fighting game nominees are Tekken 8, Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection, Arcade Classics, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, and Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising. The winner last year, this was the closest race. It was Mortal Kombat versus Street Fighter. This one, Tekken 8 walks away comfortably with 51.9% of the vote. Hoo-wee. Congratulations, Tekken. And then best monthly PlayStation Plus game, Dave the Diver, Tale of Kenzera Zao, The Plucky Squire, A Plague Tale Requiem, Dead Space remake and Ghostwire Tokyo.
Hmm.
And folks,
Come on, Kanzera.
actually,
Come on, Zal.
we have legitimately the first tie in trophy room history.
Oh, okay.
Holy shit. 320 to 320.
Okay.
Let's
I'm
fucking
I'm
go.
thinking it's between Dave the Diver
Correct.
and Dead Space.
I would say Dead Space.
Yeah.
You both are correct.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
the first ever coin flip, this is it. I'm going to excuse myself because I have a bias.
No,
You
no.
don't want me
No,
to?
how
Oh, wait,
about
no, we're
both?
3. No, you're right. You're right. We're 3.
Yeah.
You're 3.
Oh, how
Yeah.
about both?
You're right. Oh, you want both?
I'm
think,
okay with both. How about both?
you know what? Everybody gets a trophy
We
this year,
can
guys.
have it all.
Yeah.
Why not both? Death Space Remake and Dave the Diver. You both win. Congratulations. 32%.
Both such
Jesus.
great games.
Yeah. All right, gang. Now it's time. We're getting to the serious business, okay? We're talking about our top 4 now games, okay? We're on number 4 and just one. Just one. We're not going to do 2. This means a lot. We're getting to the serious business. We're getting to the serious contenders. Kyle Stevenson, what is your number 4 top game of 2024? Kyle Stevenson looking down.
Now these are ranked in order. So I gotta pick the right ones.
Oh, okay.
Because
All right.
they are really close.
Yeah.
I'm going to put Dragon Age here. Dragon Age
Okay.
is my number 4 for all the things you said, Joe.
Yep.
I liked Inquisition when it came out. I enjoyed it. I think Veilguard, the combat to me got old a little bit. So I was playing because of the characters and because of the story and the way that ending happened, and it truly felt in maybe not as a robust way as Mass Effect 2, but it felt like the suicide mission where your relationship with everybody mattered and you cared about where you assigned them to in like the final act. It's really, really good. I have nitpicks like I do with everything, but like I wish there was more to actually giving gifts to these folks instead of just oh cool thanks and then that's it. No.
Oh jeez, I really wanted this.
Yeah. All right. Sweet. Awesome.
Oh,
But Laura, I literally spent all my money on this for you. Like, what do you want from me?
You'd be a little appreciative.
I love you. Should pay it back.
Right.
Yeah. So Dragon Age is really special, and I think more people should appreciate it than they do.
Yeah. What about you, T? What's your number 4? Getting serious now.
I'm struggling with this because I wanted my number 4 to be one of the regular storyline CODs that I played, but I don't know which one to pick because I've played World at War, Black Ops 2, and Cold War.
Oh my god.
I thought they were all phenomenal for different reasons.
Yeah.
This is going to be recency bias, absolutely, because I just finished it the most recently. I'm going to go with Cold War. Only because I loved the detective aspect of that. And if people have watched any of my content, they know that I love being a little detective. I love being a snoop. I love putting pieces together. And they had the 2 little optional side missions where you had to take your evidence and you had to actually put it together and solve it. And that shit was actually hard. And I was having so much fun. I felt like I was actually a spy in the Cold War. Hell yeah, baby. I loved it. Call of Duty Cold War.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't think people give credit to Call of Duty just because it's like a yearly release. It's like, dude, those stories, like those single players are legit inventive. Especially Black Ops 6, like if you like the detective stuff. Dude, there's a heist level. Like it's so like and it's literally like this is fucking Casino Royale. Like this is awesome, man. Yeah, Cold War.
And the plot
fantastic.
twists in multiple of them. So good.
Yeah.
So good. The plot twist in Cold War, really mad at myself for not seeing that coming because typically I'm better than that. Typically I can see those plot twists coming. I did not see that plot twist. Well, I saw that there was one coming, but I didn't get it correct.
Yeah.
So that was good. So shout out to COD Cold War.
Hell yes. Ooh wee. Now we get to Kyle Stevenson. This is, I think, your category. Best soundtrack. The nominees are Ooey, Metaphor ReFantasio, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Helldivers, Stellar Blade, Astrobot, and Silent Hill 2. T, I'm gonna go with you because Kyle, he seems amped. He seems. I want to build the anticipation for him. What do you think here? What's got
Soundtrack,
prettier music? Yeah, what's prettier music?
Astrobot.
Hell
The
yes,
music
dude.
from Astrobot, I still am singing it in my head right now. I haven't played that game in
Yep,
frickin' forever. And
yep.
since the award show, because they mentioned the song one time, the theme has been playing in my head like an earworm. And it's
Yep.
okay because it's good. And
So
I
good.
loved how every zone had its own little song. That little cowboy bebop song on the home base planet, don't even get me started on that shit. That was so good.
Mm-hmm.
So good. Astrobot.
And it
Absolutely.
getting the themes of other games
Yes.
and astrobotifying them.
Oh, so good.
T just sold me, Kyle
So good.
Stevenson. Oh man.
Ashrot's great. I'm not gonna hate on Ashrot. Music's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
The battle music specifically for Metaphor is incredible.
Yep.
The chanting that happens. The first time I heard it, took me out a little bit, and I was chuckling because like this feels weird.
Yep.
Just some man grunting over music for a little bit, but the more like the battles got more intense, I enjoyed what it added to it, and the main theme is really really good. Uh, Come on, it's Final Fantasy.
Let's go.
I think that soundtrack is like over 100 tracks long, and the way they remix familiar themes from the old games and everything is just nothing short of incredible. And the battle music is all themed based on the where they are in the world too. Like it's real good.
Yep.
It makes me happy.
The best soundtrack this year. You've made Kyle Stevenson proud. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Yes.
Hell yeah.
God bless. Now, folks, Kyle T, would you mind if I had the floor for this next nominee in this next category?
Will we have a say?
Unfortunately, no.
Too bad. Well, I'm going to insert my thoughts anyway.
That's cool. I'm gonna edit it out. Best DLC, Jeff. Jeff, look how easy that was. Category: God of War Ragnarok Valhalla, Final Fantasy 16 Rising Tide, Destiny 2 The Final Shape, Alan Wake 2 Night Springs, Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred, Elden Ring Shadow of the Earth Tree. I forgot to say what my number 4 game this year was. And it is Elden Ring Shadow of the Earth Tree. I get it. It's not your conventional game, so it is not in my top 3 because that's where it gets ranked for me. Elden Ring Shadow of the Earth Tree has some of the best parts of Elden Ring, minus the last boss, who does suck and is a bad boss. And From Software, you should feel bad about it. But 41% of the vote doesn't lie. Elden Ring Shadow of the Earth Tree. Phenomenal.
Boo.
Damn it. Did your husband set you up for that, huh? Mr.
No, where
like
is
the
he?
only
He's
flaw
clearly
to
not
this
watching right now.
perfect man. This perfect specimen of a man is his hatred for Elden Ring, Shadow of the Earth Tree.
Ye of little faith, though, Joe, I'm with you. I think Elden Ring should have won. 1,000,000% it should. It's basically a sequel that they just didn't put a 2 on it. How massive it is, and the bosses are super fun. Shout out to Igor. The guy who screams "Bail!" That dude,
right, yes.
Who's my favorite NPC in any FromSoft game ever. But I also really, really wanted to shout out God of War Valhalla.
Mm-hmm.
Added roguelike to God of War, which is something that I feel like I don't think is something that would have worked really. And the fact they gave us more story and
The way they incorporated the story.
Yes, and it's not just a Ragnarok specific. Egon, thank you, Silcanet.
Yeah.
But it's God of War as a mythos.
Mm.
Was like such a great surprise, and it's one of my favorite.
And it was
things.
free.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Valhalla is real good.
That's my vote. Obviously, it didn't win.
Yeah.
And I'm an Elden Ring hater because I haven't played it. And I'm sick of all the Elden Ring talk. Just kidding. I'm just riling everybody up for no reason. I really don't care. But I did like Valhalla.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. These next two, I'll say the nominees, because I don't think there's much conversation for these. I think they're
Sure.
Yeah. Though I think I do need a talking to the audience, because I think we're getting some real sickos in here. First, best remake / remaster. Whether they're faithful retellings or built from the ground up, these are the best examples of treating an IP with love and respect. Dragon Quest III 2D HD Remake, Persona 3 Reloaded, Silent Hill 2 Remake, Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster, Horizon Zero Dawn Remaster, and The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, with 41% of the vote. Silent Hill 2 takes it for best remake / remaster. And for best photo mode, these games weren't the time to snap some pics. Oh man, I didn't win anybody with the way I said that one, huh? All right. Wording is not my best suit, I guess. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Dragon Age The Veilguard, Star Wars Outlaws, Stellar Blade for science. And let me tell you, we got a lot of scientists watching this show. 44% of the vote. You guys need to go to church. Stellar Blade wins best photo mode. You real sick sons of bees out there, let me tell you. Respectfully. For science.
For science.
I'm not here to...
For science! It's not lit up, but you can see it. For science!
Science! Oh yeah, it's right there. Holy shit. And now we get to, I think, some of the most heated conversations we've had, or like contentious or close races that we've had. And this one is no exception for one of these categories. Best performance, for best actress, we have Humberly Gonzalez as Kay Vess in Star Wars Outlaws, Brianna White as Aerith in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Ji Young Han as Balara in Dragon Age Veilguard, Jessica Clarke as Nev Gallus in Dragon Age Veilguard, and Tara Strong as Harley Quinn in The Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. Gang, T, your eyes perked. What do you think's getting this?
Well, I know she's not going to win, but I need to give her love because she
Please.
deserves it. Tara Strong did
Yes.
such an amazing job. And she's not going to win because nobody freaking played the game because everyone's a hater. But
That's right.
she is Harley Quinn. She did such an amazing job, and I cannot sing her praises enough. So that's my vote, even though I know she's not going to win.
Yeah.
And it's a
Fair
robbery.
Enough. It is. Gosh darn robbery. Mr. J, Mr. Stevenson.
She did such a great job.
Oh man, it's like choosing between all my wives. I can't. My fictional virtual loves. Balara obviously is the one who I decided to romance in Dragon Age.
Gave her the rose.
I love Balara. I love Nev.
Mm-hmm.
I love Humberly as Kay. Even though I'm not a
Yes.
huge Star Wars fan, I love the character of Kay. Kay is awesome. But my vote goes to Brianna for Aerith, a iconic character. She had a big shoes to fill, and the way she played her is incredible. And it's funny. I'm thinking in this moment, I'm thinking of a conversation like that you talked to us about after the awards last night about voice acting. And Brianna is somebody who went from a content creator to landing Aerith, and I was a fan of Brianna before she was Aerith and her channel, and that just made me think of you, and I can't wait for in the future for us to nominate you for a category here. I think that'd be really, really cool.
As long as only if the category is best voice that is not a named character.
Sure.
Because that's all.
Best NPC in the background.
Best background NPC.
Brianna's awesome, and her portrayal of Aerith is awesome. So that's my vote.
Yeah. And that's who wins. Brianna White as Aerith
Yay.
in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And I agree, man. Her range is incredible in Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth. She's great. And I love that she's given more agency in Rebirth. Yeah. Yeah. Brianna, congratulations.
Best villager A, still can, it says. Exactly, that'll be my
Yeah.
category.
I'd be red shirt or like Stormtrooper 1 or something like that. Best performance from an actor, from a male.
Ooh-wee.
Man, I'm running out of steam. The 4 hours is starting to really hit.
Hmm.
We got James Sutherland, Silent Hill 2 as Luke. James Sutherland, Silent Hill 2, Luke Roberts. Stuart Scott as Stroll from Metaphor Refantasio. Abu Bakar Salim as Zhao in Tales of Zara Zhao. Stuart Clark as Stroll. Oh, Google Drive, he did it again. He added 2 names. Come on, guys. Get it together. John Eric Bentley as Barrett in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Kyle Stevenson, who do you think takes it here?
Again, super hard. I met the man yesterday.
That's fair.
I
That's fair.
got to talk to John Eric Bentley. We all got to talk to John Eric Bentley. Human aside, who's incredible human, and I can't wait to talk to him more in the very near future. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. His portrayal of Barrett in a very specific storyline in Rebirth, when it came to Barrett and Dyne, is a very pivotal scene and story arc in the OG game that they fleshed out and made so much more emotional. And his acting, for sure, lent itself to that and elevated even higher. So my vote is for John as Barrett.
That's fair.
Even though
That's
I
fair.
love Abu Bakar as Zhao, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Hot take: I didn't love Stroll in Metaphor. Now that
Oh, yeah, it's a hot take. You're a real son of a
I'm
gun.
sorry. And I think Luke killed it as James.
Yeah.
And the little bit that James is in there, like dialogue wise, I think he crushed it.
Yeah. What say you, T?
Well, listen, he's just such a great guy. I just want to vote for him because he is so
Fair enough.
nice.
That's fair.
Well, I can't though. I didn't see his performance.
That's fair. That's fair.
I also want to vote for Abu Bakr because I, again, didn't play Tales, but I love him so much. His performance specifically in Origins was just impeccable. I freaking love him. He's incredibly talented. But out of all of these, the only ones I played is Silent Hill. So I feel like that's just, the only one I can vote for. And he really did a great job as well. But because that's the only one that I've actually played and seen the performance of, that's the one I'm going to vote for. As much as it pains me not to vote for these other amazingly talented humans.
That's fair. For me, I think it's Abu. He totally crushed it. Every goddamn line is just masterful. But I'm also not going to hate Kyle and the audience's pick here for John Eric Bentley as Barrett in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Yes.
Totally well deserved, man. Again, I think the one thing about Rebirth, again, as someone who isn't as high on it as Kyle is that it gives way more agency to the players that you met in the first game or just were acquainted with in the first game. I'm thinking about Red. They're given more time to shine and to flesh out those characters in really meaningful ways. Yep. And I think again, Brianna and John really did nail that. That said, we get to our final 3 nominees. Sorry, categories here. Best non-PlayStation game. All right. And how I titled this is, what are exclusives but gaming persevering? These are the best games outside of our ecosystem. Again, listen, I've heard that we talk about Xbox too many times. That the 10 times we talked about in last year was enough.
Sorry, guys, it's my fault. Not sorry.
No.
Listen, those people need to get over it, okay?
Touch grass!
Exactly, touch grass, you dumb losers. The fact is, we love all these games, man. Like Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2 by Ninja Theory. 1000 X Resist by Sunset Visitor. Mouthwashing by Rog Organ. The worst thing a doctor could ever tell you. I love that.
That's a good show.
UFO 50 by Moss Mouth. Batman Arkham Shadow by Camouflage. Groon by Tom Van Den Bruggen. And yeah, that's it. Those are it. Best non-PlayStation game. Really, Google Drive started to break down because now I got to do some math because it put them in twice.
While you're doing that, my number 11 and 12 games are part of this grouping here.
Oh yeah.
Mouthwashing and Grun are incredible indies. Both can be beaten in under 4 or 5 hours, so they're quick. Mouthwashing is a very heavy narrative game, but it tells it in an extremely well manner, and it's not as scary as what it looks like.
It looks like it really does look like something out of a PS1 horror game in the worst way
does.
possible.
It
scares
has
the shit out of me.
it has those moments for sure, but
Mhm.
it's not straight up like you're not gonna get jump scared or anything. It's just the themes are a little bit on the scary side.
Yeah.
And Grun, the way it was marketed as a totally normal guarding sim, is awesome because Mike and I played that during Extra Life at 6-1 Indie after knowing nothing, but hearing people talk about it, and it literally turns into this darker force of these little gnomes and what they're going on, and you do have to like do landscaping and stuff to unlock keys, and it's like day based, so once the day is done, if you don't go to rest, the monster will come get you. Think of like Dredge if you stay out too late
Oh,
in the
okay.
water. But when you wake up, everything resets, so you have to
Oh
remember
wow.
the puzzles and where to go on the map to unlock these certain things, to figure out and piece together the whole puzzle. And it's one of my favorite gaming memories of the year. Mike and I sitting on Extra Life after being up for a very long time, trying to put together the puzzle pieces and figure out, and having the aha moment of like, it didn't matter at all, but I very strictly remember we picked up a clue or a puzzle piece, and we both looked at each other like, the fisherman! And we went there, and it wasn't even the fisherman. But it was like those moments of how into it we were.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
I love that.
I don't think either of them are going to win this, though.
That's fair.
I think it's Hellblade, and I have not played
Oh.
Hellblade, so I cannot speak on it.
This is where things get really interesting because again, I don't know who wins our number one game yet. I've seen colors of the wheel. I have not seen the names attached. But I've played 1000X Resist under an hour. What a strange game, and I can't wait to discover more of like what the hell I'm actually doing here. Shout out to SoCannon for gifting me that.
Hell yeah.
That is something that I'm going to be playing over the weekend on my Steam Deck. That said, though, it looks like frenemy of the show and host of the Xbox Expansion Pass got to vote on this game a few hundred times. He really took the time to really vote the hell out of this game. He calls himself the so-called biggest Batman fan out there. So I wouldn't put it past him.
I have some issues with that vote. You're telling me that many members of our audience has like a VR headset and played Batman Arkham Shadow enough to vote for it?
Yes.
I don't know.
Winning by only 5%.
Okay.
Against Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2. All right. Is Batman Arkham Shadow by Camouflage.
Okay.
So well deserved from what I've played of that game before I threw my shoulder out. I was the knight.
Batarangs.
Yes, like a fucking idiot. I went, and then I pulled my goddamn shoulder. Seriously, as someone who, you know, Kevin Conroy is my Batman. The voice actor here, man, pays great respect to Kevin. And this definitely fits into the Arkham verse. No question. Yeah. Well deserved. Camouflage, y'all did the thing. And I really can't wait to see what you guys do next. Hopefully it's another Batman game. That said,
shout out to Senua because that game also phenomenal. Please go play that. super trippy, super fun, kind of creepy. Loved
When
it.
we were seeing the Hellblade 2 footage that in the
Mhm.
New York Game Awards, I'm like, I can't wait for this to come to PlayStation. Her performance is
That was
stellar.
the first time experiencing that last night on the screen,
Yeah.
and how fluid that animation was, and the audio even in the theater of like the voices. Whew.
So
Yeah.
this isn't me shouting out like my review, but I did review it, and
Oh.
there are parts like just fast forward to certain parts because I do call out like the audio design. But what I want you to look for specifically are how they intertwined the combat with the cutscenes, because a lot of people complained that the combat wasn't necessarily super challenging. It felt a little too scripted, but I freaking loved it because I would be fighting like controlling my own character, controlling my own movements, and then it would flawlessly go into something that was a cutscene in this beautiful triggered animation thing that would progress the story, and then all of a sudden you're back into the fighting. These epic battles that flawlessly shift from you controlling the character to watching to you controlling again. So, so, so well done. And
Yeah.
the audio just fucking creepy, man.
Yeah.
Creepy.
I continue to beat the drum. The best acquisitions out of Xbox were Ninja Theory and Obsidian, and then just giving them money, going, just continue doing weird shit, please. Thank you. And it's like, yeah, and like seriously, some of my most anticipated games are like Avowed. It's like, yeah, like damn, it's just yeah, great job, Hellblade. Great job, Camouflage. This goes to our second to last category, most anticipated game of 2025. Now, you know ours, so we're not going to go into our most anticipated game. This is all you, okay? The nominees are, and this one was crazy. I truly didn't expect this. I mean it. Nominees: Doom: The Dark Ages, Judas, Grand Theft Auto 6, Metal Gear Delta Snake Eater Remake, Mafia: The Old Country, Take Two, Expedition 33, Assassin's Creed Shadows by Ubisoft, Grand Theft Auto 6. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I already said that. Rockstar Games. Again, Google Drive crapping out on me. Death Stranding 2 by Kojima Productions, and Ghost of Yote by Sucker Punch. And y'all, don't ever count out Sucker Punch. They somehow did the thing. They beat Grand Theft Auto 6 is the most anticipated game of 2025. I get it. We're a bunch of PlayStation fanboys and fangirls. I totally understand. But let me tell you, I've never been more proud of this community in my life. Ghost of Yote, the most anticipated game, voted by the audience. Now, gang, we get to it. I almost saw it. The game of the year. And I need for you guys to buy me time. Yes, Kyle Stevenson.
We still have 3 more of our
I
personal top 10.
I know I
Okay.
got you
Okay.
because I need you to buy me time as I decide what my game of the year is. Uh, so what are your top 3? Your number 3, number 2, and then your game of the year. Kyle Stevenson, go for it.
Controversial, because again, I said after we're at 4, this is in order.
This is in order. That's when you said I'm like shit. Now I got to do it.
No, I didn't want to. I didn't mean to put pressure on anybody.
Stress.
That's not what I
Pressure,
did.
pressure,
But
pressure.
you should have. Anyway, my number 3 is actually Astrobot.
Okay.
Really?
I adore.
Holy shit. Okay.
I adore Astrobot. It is a celebration of the ecosystem that I grew up in and continue to play every single day. It is platforming goodness, pure platformer. It is everything that I wanted from PlayStation to do and celebrate its franchises. But it sits at number 3 because at the end of the day, it's just more Astrobot, and that's not a bad thing. It is
All right.
not a bad thing. I'm letting you know. It's a 10 out of 10 in my eyes, but so are my top 2. Like, these are 10 out of 10, and I'm just ranking them. Astrobot's, like, perfect, but it is my number 3.
But not perfect.
Okay,
Just
then
kidding.
what's your number 2, Kyle? I'm so invested. The world turned off. I need to know Kyle Stevenson's game of the year.
My number 2 is Balatro.
Oh my Jesus Christ!
I mean, come on. It's.
But what's your number one then? I thought that would be your number one.
That's
No.
what I thought too.
No. Am I saying my one now too?
Go for it. Go for
It's
it.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. That is
Oh
my.
yeah, duh, okay.
That's fair.
That's my
I
number
should have
one.
seen that coming.
Yeah.
I should have seen that coming.
Yeah. It's perfect. They're all 10 and 10s.
They're all 10 out of 10s.
Yeah.
Holy crap! You didn't buy me any time. I was so invested.
Wait,
Now,
what about you? What are your top three?
So my top 3 is gonna be Star Wars Outlaws.
yeah.
Again, still technically haven't beat it. Apparently that's the theme of this year. Starting a lot of games
It
I
was
didn't
a
beat.
weird
But
year.
I made a lot of progress. I'm in the final zone. I just haven't actually beaten it.
That's right.
I was getting lost in the world, which is partly why I didn't beat it, because I just wasn't playing the main story. I was doing everything else and exploring and having a great time. I understand the critiques and the criticisms, but I was just having a great time, and that outweighed any issues that I had with like clunkiness or anything like that. And I also wasn't trying to get all of the achievements or trophies. So I think that helped, because I feel like a lot of people were loving it until they tried to trophy hunt it, and then they were like, ooh, that ruined it for me. So I think that really helped. My number 2 is going to be Balatro. And then my number 1 is Astrobot. So not surprising there.
Hell yes. Okay, guys, you guys bought me no time. Can my number 1 game be a game I did not put on the list, or does it have to be from here?
What are you talking
Like
about? Like the list everyone voted on?
Yeah.
It can be anything.
No, whatever you want. It's your number 1.
Yeah,
Okay.
what? That's how you preface it.
You're right. You're right. You're right. It's my personal number 1. Hey, you guys don't get to. We listen, but we don't judge.
There's no judging here.
If your number 1 isn't The Witcher 3, I will
Exactly. I'm fully expecting
poop you.
Well, again, Witcher 3, technically, I put it first as number 10.
it. Oh.
It is it is.
Oh, duh. I forgot about. I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
too tired. I am too
It
tired.
is a perfect game. It is but of games that this year that came out,
Yeah.
number 3 is also Astrobot for me. High praise, because I love. First off, I love Astrobot so much, and it's high praise because I typically don't do platformers. I'm not good at platformers, and for a game to reach the heights of that, of like the compliments that we could give it, of like a Mario-esque level of just design, of a team of less than 30. 29 people made this goddamn game, man. Like, seeing them all fit in this stage when they were accepting their Game of the Year at the New York Game Awards, like seeing them fit in that tiny like office and going, hey guys, this is us. You don't get to see that. This is a team that literally used to make tech demos, grow to become a premier platforming studio. It's just wild. You know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. You guys don't get to judge me. Again, we listen, we don't judge.
Why are you thinking we're going to judge you?
I don't know.
Why
I'm just very nervous right now.
Respectfully and listening to what you're saying.
I guess it's tough, and I think
Spit
it's
it
one
out,
of those.
Joe.
Okay,
All the
Palaccio's numbers.
all the
Palaccio's
shit you
number
gave
2.
us in years past.
You're right.
You know?
You're right. You're right. Balattro's number 2. I think Balatro is literally one of the most. It's amazing, and I think honestly, if it switches on the day, but I'm gonna say it. I don't give a shit. Recency bias. I don't care. I'm enjoying myself. Marvel Rivals is my favorite game this year.
Hell yeah, dude.
I've already put in 70 hours into Marvel Rivals.
Nice.
And it's what video games are all about.
Mm-hmm.
It's iterating on an idea as old as Team Fortress 2, and it's just offering fresh takes on ideas from the past and then doing wildly different things with them. The level of strategy in each character, the way that you're able to play every character and master them, or just go, oh yeah, I understand this character, is so good, man. Marvel Rivals, whether you could take away the Marvel paint and it's still an exceptional multiplayer game. You could take away the free to play aspects or whatever. To me, it's like, is this just a good freaking game? Absolutely. Yeah, Marvel Rivals is my game of the year Fight me. I don't care. Please don't yell at me in the comments. I feel so liberated. But y'all voted. And your game of the year is.
Do we say all the nominees?
Sorry, the nominees are Balatro, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Metaphor Refantasio, Prince of Persia The Lost Crown, Astrobot, Helldivers 2, Silent Hill 2, Dragon Age The Veilguard, Fear the Spotlight. Oh, sorry, and Fear the Spotlight. And the winner, Game of the Year, audience pick. We're counting the votes. This is Florida, years 2000.
I feel like it's a shoo-in.
What do you think it is?
I think it's Astrobot, right? Light? Am I crazy?
I would think so.
Yeah.
And you would be correct with 31% of the vote. Astrobot, Team Asobi, is the Trophy Room's Game of the Year. Everybody clap. The game that defined 2024 to our audience is none other than Astrobot from Team Asobi. With that said, that's been the Platties this year. Can't wait to see y'all next year and what games that are going to be from the most anticipated list onto the Game of the Year list. Truly, this year is going to be insane and one of the biggest yet. And can't wait to see y'all then. Until next week, everybody. Love y'all. Keep your wits about you. And wait, before we get out of here, anything you guys like the spotlight before we get out of here, actually? Tegan, anything you like the spotlight?
No, but you can find me on YouTube at Lightweight Gaming or Lightweight Reacting for all your gaming and reaction content.
Oh, Stevenson, anything you'd like to spotlight before we get out of here?
Yeah, go over to nygamecritics.com/donate and go donate to their cause. It's really cool.
Yeah. Go help underprivileged kids become game developers, become the next Kojima, become the next Team Asobi. Damn, that'd be fantastic. Thank you for finding that link, Bud, because I was trying to the whole night. Yeah, you know where to find me, at Mr. Badbit. You know where to find the show, at PS Trophy Room. If you like what you heard here, and I don't know why you wouldn't, head on over to patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. Support us there. It's the reason why we're able to go out and do cool stuff. And you get bonus shows for doing it. With all that said, with all that out of the way, everybody keep your wits about you. Keep hunting and keep playing PlayStation. See you guys.
Bye. Love you. Give it a minute.
Give it a minute.